Hello, everyone. I'm running a little late, but I'm here, so I got to do some other things here real quick. Try to get everybody be able to come up that wants to come up. Hello, Emily. Emmeline, how you doing? Hope you're having a good day. And we're trying to get everything going. It's Christmas Eve here in the states. I had to work till 7, and it's going on 8 right now. Just turned 8 here in the state, where I live in the states. So I just trying to get this all going. And so we're going to, hey, VCJN, welcome. Welcome to the channel. I don't know how long we're going to be going tonight. I really don't know. Like I said, it's Christmas Eve here. I worked 12 hours today, and I got to work tomorrow as well. I'm working 12 hours in Christmas. I'm here in the Eastern time zone in the United States. It just turned 8 o'clock here. I worked 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. today, and I'll do the same thing tomorrow. Merry Christmas to you. And I'm just trying to get this done. And so here we go. I always have trouble with this. I don't know why. I always go through that. That's why I do it. And there it is. If anybody wants to come up, you're more than willing to. Or you're more than welcome to come up. I'm just trying to. Hey Tim, welcome, sir. Edward, how you doing, Mac Daddy? Like I was just telling everybody, I my new schedule is Thursdays and Fridays. I work 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Then Saturday and Sunday, I work 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. So I work 12 hours today, and I'll work 12 hours tomorrow, and I'll do the same thing next weekend on New Year's weekend. But that's all right. I get 3 days a week off, so I'm enjoying it. How you doing, Mac Daddy?
Larry, how you doing, my brother?
Trying to stay out of trouble.
You enjoying that bomb cyclone?
We didn't really get hit with it.
Oh,
Where I'm at.
Woo!
Yeah, we got lucky. We did get some snow. We got some rain, and we got some real cold weather. Give me a second here, and I'll tell you how cold.
It was -6 here this morning. That's Fahrenheit.
Well, hang on a minute. It's -12 Celsius here. That's about
That's about it.
no. -6 Fahrenheit's colder than -12.
Celsius.
Yes, it's a lot colder. Um, Let me give you what it is in Fahrenheit. It's 11 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah, we went up to 4 degrees Fahrenheit today, and we're back down to -2.
Yeah.
It's been a lot to deal with, let me tell you.
Now, Mac Daddy, Tim told you Merry Christmas.
Oh, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to Tim, and VCJN said Merry Christmas to everyone.
Yes, Merry Christmas, one and all.
And now for Tim and VC and some of the others, hey Jerry, some of the others, they're actually Christmas Day. They're in the Philippines. Like Dan here. Hey Dan, Merry Christmas, man. I like I said, I didn't know how many people I'd get today. I wasn't sure if I'd get anybody from the Philippines because, like I said, It's Christmas morning over there. It's 9 o'clock in the morning in the Philippines, where it's only 8 o'clock at night here in the Eastern time zone. But it's Christmas Eve, so I thought I'd get at least some people from the States to come in. And I'll do the same thing next weekend for New Year's. I don't party for New Year's. I haven't done that for years. Sorry, Mac Daddy. I hadn't had a drink in 3 or 4 years. It's nothing against it. I just don't drink very often.
I used to go out and dance on tables for New Year's. I was a wild one back in the day.
Well, back in the day now, yeah, I had to be carried home a few times, but that was many, many years ago. I
went to the Dunphy Hotel in Philadelphia one time, and they had like a pool that you could swim under the glass and be outside.
Yeah.
Outside one time, swimming around on New Year's Day. It was like 20 degrees out. Then you swim back under the glass and you're inside.
Yeah.
We had a great time that year.
Evany, how you pronounce it, it's Evany. Merry Christmas to you. She said Merry Christmas to both of us. And so, like I said, I wasn't sure if I'd get anybody from the Philippines or not, but Evany, she's from the Philippines as well. So we actually got a lot more from the Philippines than I thought. And Dan, if you want, you can come up, tell us how it's going, what the weather's like over there. Rub it in, because I know it's a lot warmer there than it is here. So you can come in and rub it in. I mean, we're willing to hear how warm it is.
Oh my God! Go out and freeze your hoo-hoo off today. God.
Well, like I said, I just told you it was minus 12 Celsius, which is about.
We had 6 mile an hour wind to go with that minus 6 degrees.
Yeah. Well, I was inside. I mean, hello, Ding. How you doing? Merry Christmas, sir.
I was inside too, but minus 6 with snow and wind. Oh my goodness, Larry.
We got Dan coming up. Hey, Dan.
Whoa. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Thanks for coming.
Hey, I do have a weather report for you. Rainy with a chance of rain.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what, Dan. I'll switch.
I'll take it. How about wind chill factors like minus 40?
Yeah. Oh.
And blowing snow. We had snow drifts in my neighborhood that were 5 feet deep.
Like I said, now here where I'm at, we got lucky. We're not near as cold. I mean, like I said, it's 11 degrees Fahrenheit and minus 12 degrees Celsius. But we didn't get anywhere near the snow they were calling for. Now we did get rain and we got some ice out there, but because we did all of it we were calling for, the roads are actually in very good shape.
It was hard driving yesterday. We had whiteout conditions.
Well, a friend of mine came home from Boston. I've been watching her daughter's rabbit, and she said when they were coming home, she was lucky because the side they were coming on, there was no wrecks or anything. But on the other side, going towards Boston, I guess there was like 3 or 4 wrecks. It had traffic backed up and all kinds of stuff. And she said they thought about stopping and not coming in that night. But like I said, the closer they got to here, the better it got. So it was still cold. Don't get me wrong. It was very cold. We got the wind last night. We got a lot of wind. Some areas, now not where I don't know what I got to in my area because, like I said, I was at work. But there were some areas around here where I live got up to around 70 mile an hour winds last night. Most of the areas I think was under 50 miles an hour. But Ebony, I don't give anybody a jacket. What you got to do is type in LLL, and my Nightbot will drop your email for you. I have very few people with a jacket. These are people that I knew before I ever started vlogging, and I'm not sure how. Let's see if I'll give you one. Give me a minute. Let's see if I can do it.
Ebony is cold. She needs a jacket.
I got to see if I can know how to give one.
Oh, okay.
I haven't gave a jacket since. Oh, there you go. We did it. We found it. All right, Ebony.
Congratulations.
We'll give you a jacket. There you go. All right. Minus 40 Celsius equals minus 40 Fahrenheit. All right. That's where they come together. I knew they came together somewhere down at below zero for Fahrenheit. I was thinking closer to 60 below, but all right, 40 below is where they come together.
Well, that's just a wind chill factor, but it was, oh my God, it was vicious.
Now, Jerry, Jerry just told you Merry Christmas. And,
Merry Christmas there, Jerry.
But I'm trying. Yeah,
So we're 26 degrees Celsius. What does that mean in Fahrenheit? I think the formula is like 1.8, and then you add 32, right?
Well, yeah, you got to add 32.
32 plus 1.8.
So you're around 80.
Yeah, it seems more like 76, 77.
Like I said, now, Ebony, I'm sorry. I don't believe it's cold. To you, it's cold. Don't get me wrong. I'm sorry. For you, it's cold because you're not used to it. But I'd take your weather in a heartbeat.
I can make ice cubes on my doorstep.
Oh, yeah. You can put food outside and it will freeze for you. You don't need a refrigerator. It's that cold. And I used to now back in my drinking days, I used to set my beer outside in the snow and let it get it cold. And then, you didn't. Yeah, I used to set a lot of stuff outside in this kind of weather to get it cold because it'd get cold quicker than putting it in the freezer.
I like to do the trick where you set a bottle of water outside for a little while.
Yeah.
When it gets so cold, it's still liquid. You bring it in the house and you crack the cap on it, and it freezes to a slush ball in your hand.
Yeah. Oh, I love when pop or something like that freezes to a slush bowl. It's just so. Oh man, it is cold. But yeah, now Tim, I know at 70 Fahrenheit, it's cold in the Philippines, and I know if I moved over there, I would think y'all nuts at least for the first year or two. Then I'd probably adapt. Adapt and say it's cold.
Takes a while to get acclimated.
Yeah, as I said, take a year or two to get acclimated, and then it'll be like, this is cold.
But something I discovered, guys, something I discovered about the weather is that if you didn't go out every time it rained, around here, you'd never go outside.
Well, now I don't know how true this is. I can't remember. It was one of the YouTube channels that does on things on Philippines. And they were saying when it's raining, and this might have been the Filipino P, okay? That's when it's raining, your streets are almost deserted. If they don't have umbrellas, they're off the street. Because I guess it's a superstition that if you get rained on, it'll make you sick. So they, if it starts raining, now I don't mean a sprinkler. I don't know if she was talking sprinkler or not. But
that might be in the big city, but I think the Filipina P was referring to Dumaguete because there's so much garbage in the air.
Well, she was talking about that, but she was saying, that she thought that might be it, but she's probably talking about all the major cities because all of them got pollution,
I haven't noticed that people don't go out here in Bye City. They're out all the time, rain or shine.
She's saying if they don't have the umbrella, if they have an umbrella, it goes up, boom.
Yeah.
But if they don't, they head for inside, They don't.
Yeah.
And she goes, she don't understand it. Why? Because some of the people just put their head right on top of their head, like that's going to keep them from getting wet. And then she said, you Western guys would probably like it if the girls stayed out in the rain. So, I can't remember which one of her vlogs, but it was one of the last couple of weeks. But because I fall behind on some of these, I really need to.
It's hard to keep up with everybody.
Tim says when you get used to 82, 70 does feel cold. Oh, I agree with you. See, now for me, 70 is a good low temperature with in the low to mid 80s for the high. But like you said, once you get used to the 82 being the low, 70 is going to feel cold. And I agree with you on that. Now, see, Jerry agrees, says true too, because Jerry lives down in Texas. So they have a lot more warmer weather usually than we do. They rarely get snow, but you can't say they never do because they do get it occasionally. But yeah, it's something that it's what you're used to. I mean, when I first moved out here to New York from Indiana, the first couple of years, I'd never used an air conditioner. To me, it wasn't that hot. Everybody else is out here complaining about how hot it is. Well, I'm from the Midwest. We don't get the nice breeze they get out here. We got a little more humidity than they do out here. But after a couple of years, I got acclimated to this area, and I started having to use air conditioning. When I go home, it's murder. When I go back to Indiana, if I go back during the summer. So I try to go back in the fall when the weather's a lot nicer for me. But yeah, I mean, I back home, if they don't get in the 90s for at least 2 weeks, they had a cool summer. And I can remember one August, we never got below 80 for the low, and we were in the 90s every day for the high, and also in the 90s sometimes at night for the low. And that was before I moved out here. So like I said, when you're talking low to mid 80s is your high, I just never thought of it as being hot. Hell, well, my first 2 years out here, I used an air conditioner once, and that was just to make sure it worked. And I only opened up my windows a couple times. My first there was only one night, and we didn't have an air conditioner when I was living at this place, that I actually wish I had an air conditioner the first 2 years. Only one night. That was it. Because it was really hot and humid that night. But I had a fan blowing directly on me, so I was able to sleep. But like I said, my first 2-3 years out here, only that one day, that was it. And my older sister was telling me how when her and her husband first moved out here, they were out here for so long, they never had air conditioning in all their cars. And then one year they had to come home in August. And that was the last time they had no car with air conditioning. They said after that they had to have at least one car with an air conditioner so they could drive that back to Indiana. And because she said she lives up on a hill out in the country, and they get a really nice breeze. And her oldest son, him and his wife built this really nice, beautiful house. He's a lawyer, so I mean he's got money. And he thought about it, and he decided to put air ducts in because he ever wanted to add air conditioner. He had no intention of adding it at the time, but he thought, if I put it in now, it saves me $5,000 compared to putting it in later. And that's at that time. Now that was about 20 years ago. So who knows what it would cost him nowadays to put it in. I mean, like you, Dan, you put a lot of stuff in when you first did it. Think how much if you waited 20 years to add that stuff.
Yeah.
The labor is going to go up, if not, plus probably the cost of materials.
Oh my gosh, man. I'm telling you, it'd be scary expensive to build a house here in the Philippines now.
Yeah, because of the expenses.
Yeah. I mean, things are going up like crazy. I would build a much simpler house, I think, if I were to do it again.
Well, I don't know if
based on what we pay for materials, I don't mind living in a bamboo house.
Yeah. Well, I have a guy I followed for years, named Marky Shoemake.
Uh-huh.
And Marky and his wife's building a house.
Yeah.
And they had that big typhoon about a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
And he
Odette.
Yeah, I think it was Odette. It might have been the one before that, but I believe it was Odette.
Yeah.
He was talking about how much materials went up after that. Because
it's crazy. It's never come down,
Yeah, but I'm just saying, though, you had that thing and now there's a shortage because everybody's trying to rebuild their property and stuff.
Right.
And now he's here in the States now because he's got colon cancer. And so he's back here being treated for it. And his wife's still in the Philippines. And at least I haven't watched his latest video. I got to watch it to see how he's doing.
hey, you got to get that colorectal exam, at least once every 3 years when you get older.
Oh, I've had it
Yeah.
4 times now.
My next one is due. I had it before I came here. I don't mind talking about it. And then the doctor recommended, said, okay, you need get your the next one at age 68, and then after that it's up to you, because 68 they're figuring, life expectancy and things like that. They're saying, well, if you end up getting colon cancer, it takes so many years to develop, you'll probably be at your life expectancy, which for me is, I think, 78. Hey, Larry, do you know this? Do you know you can go into the Social Security website? You could put your birth date, your race, and a few other factors, and it will give you the actuarial chart on your demise, on your leaving this planet. That's amazing.
Yeah. Well,
so my date of my life years is something like 78, somewhere between 76 and 78. So that's all I got. I got 10 years. 10 years.
Dan,
yeah.
I plan on outliving that.
Yeah, most of us are, I think.
Well, you got to remember,
I deserve at least 80. I deserve at least 80.
My mom in January turns 97. All right.
Yeah, that's a pretty good marker. That's a pretty good indicator that you've got good genetics.
My grandfather and my great-grandfather both lived, and my mom's older brother all lived to be about 92.
Mm-hmm.
My grandfather made it 2 days past his 92nd birthday. His birthday is March 17th, St. Patrick's Day. He died on the 19th.
Yeah.
My mom, on her mother's side, has an uncle who lived to be about 97 or 98. Now, my dad's side of the family, I think the oldest one lived to be about 80. My father didn't make it. I've outlived both my – actually, I don't always say this, but I had one brother between me and my younger brother died when he was about 2 weeks old. But my other 2 brothers, I've already outlived them too.
Well, it sounds to me like you've already won at the game of life.
As far as the boys go, yes. Hey, Leonard, how you doing, sir? If you want to come up, come on up. Anybody else that wants to come up, you're more than welcome to come up. We're just doing this for, like I said, everybody knows I like to talk, because this is my entertainment. And
Leonard, America's most eligible bachelor.
Hold it. Now, Dan, not for more, not for long. Pretty soon he's going to be the Filipinos' most eligible bachelor.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, he's heading over here, huh? Pretty soon.
February, right, Leonard?
Leonard from Houston, dodging bullets in the middle of the night. Welcome.
Right, Leonard. You're what the heck's that? You're going over to the Philippines in February, right?
Well, that was my plan, but I think I'm going to have to postpone it a little bit.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Now, you're not going to lose money on postponing, are you?
No, I hadn't bought a ticket yet.
Okay, that's good. And I got to unpin this.
So also, if you go into those actuaries, it shows you the probability of living to a certain age once you reach an age plateau, right? So that means that if you're at age 65, the key to living to age 80 is first make it to age 65. So you've already accomplished that. You're good to go. You're good to go there, Larry.
Yeah, I'll be 70 in September.
Wahoo! And so your next benchmark is going to be, how old will I live if I'm now age 70? And you'll probably discover that it moves you up another 15 years. You're probably going to make it to 85.
Cool. I'll take 105 if I have my health.
Yeah. Now I just happen to be lucky also, as you are. My mom is 87, so I don't know if she wants me announcing that to the world or not.
Now, Jerry, 55 is not an old man. I'm going to tell you the truth, Jerry. An old man depends upon the person. Now, I knew a guy that I don't think he was 48 even, and he considered himself old. Because we're talking 20 about 26 years ago. So that would have put me about 43. So he was around my age at that time. And he's talking about us old guys. And I'm looking at him. He's acting old. He kind of walks around like an old man, and he looked older than me. And I'm thinking, I'm not old like you. But his whole attitude was he was old, and he was only like mid 40s.
Well, you start thinking about that stuff once you start hitting. I remember that's when it hit me. I started thinking about the age thing right around the mid 40s, and so everyone knows that I'm scared as hell of death.
I'm going to tell you the truth. I've never worried about my age.
Yeah.
I figure I'll live till I die. I mean, what else am I going to do?
What else are you going to do? Exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, Tim, by the way, the wife and I'm trying to convince her to make her way to your part of the world, on the return trip from Thailand. Coming through Manila, we'll jump on the metro on the what's the bus line? The metro, maybe it's the metro, and we'll make our way to the mall there, Clark City, whatever they call it, the Clark Mall there. Anyway, I thought I'd let you know. I think I'm winning this argument for why we need to spend a couple of weeks in Pampanga. Now, by the way, Larry, I hope you don't mind. I'm just curious about this. I've seen a lot of stuff on YouTube lately. I don't know if you've noticed it or not, right? Where people, are making, pretty harsh comments about Angela City. One of the reasons why maybe because there are a lot of YouTubers that are just going for the views. And so every day they do their daily walk down Walking Street. But as Tim pointed out in the past, he rarely goes there.
Yeah. Well, you look at some of the YouTubers from Thailand, and like Phuket and some of those areas, they go to those red light districts too.
Right.
But there's a lot there that's nowhere near there.
Yeah, there's a lot all over the place. And I'll be doing both, by the way, from Thailand. I'll be starting from the very beginning, putting up snippets of where we're at as we're going along. So I'm not doing like a formal video. I'll do short video clips and then post them online so that people can just see anytime they want to check in where we're at. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. One of the hotels that we booked in Pattaya, it overhangs the walking street. And the reason why I did that is because we're going to be there during China, aside from the obvious reasons. The other reason would be we're going to be there during Chinese New Year. And so if you've ever been in Southeast Asia during Chinese New Year, it is one of the craziest, most fantastic experiences that I have ever had. And I want to share that with Minnie. Minnie is all for it. She said, let's go. Let's go.
How's my mic? Is it coming through all right?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay. That doesn't sound like it's very loud to me.
Yeah.
But, I would love to go to Chinatown in New York City for the parade for New Year's. I've not been able to do that.
It's that kind of experience. It happens all over the world like that.
Yeah, I know. But I'm just saying it'd be fun to see it. My next trip down to New York City, if I can do it, I want to go to a Jollibee's. I've never been to a Jollibee's. And they got one, I guess, around Times Square, from what I've been told. So I thought that might be interesting. Go down there and maybe do a video and show the difference, if anything.
Hey, you reminded me when you mentioned the Jollibee. I would like to sort of share this experience that I've had. I don't know if anyone else has had this experience, but it doesn't just involve the Jollibee in Southeast Asia. But for some odd reason, right? They're in the habit here in Bye Bye City Leyte. I'll frame it like that. If you're going to go in and you're going to get a burger and a fry or chicken and fries, I have noticed that they cook the fries in the same oil as they do the chicken. Now, what makes it even worse is if you're trying to save a few bucks by not filtering the grease, or in the case of Bye Bye Leyte, it's so busy they don't have time to, then your fries will end up getting cooked in rancid grease where they cook the chicken. And that is the worst thing that you can possibly imagine.
We when I worked at Bonanza back in Terre Haute, back when I was in my teens, I worked there when I was in high school, just before I went in the Navy. We had something similar. Now, we didn't deep fried chicken in it, but we deep fried shrimp. We had two pits. One I had shrimp, one I had chicken, but then you had to do your fries in one of them. But now we strained the grease. I can't remember if it was every night or every so often at least. We had a thing that would strain it and get all the impurities out. But you could only do that so many times, then you had to replace the grease.
Yeah, you have to toss it out. You got to toss it out. I would rather cook the fries like they did in the old days. I'd rather cook them in the pig fat. There's no shortage of lard here in the Philippines. They're crying out loud. Why are they using vegetable oil when they got that beautiful, delicious
bacon grease? Bacon grease, baby.
Yes. Yeah. Yummy.
Vegetable oil is very, very bad for you.
Yeah,
so way too much omega-6 fatty acids.
Yeah, you go keto, right, Leonard? Go keto.
Yeah,
Merry Christmas, Sammy. If you want to come up, Sammy, you're more than welcome.
Hey, Sammy.
Now, I got to get to Jerry here real quick. He said he started feeling old in his 30s. Now, Jerry, there was a time that people were considered old in their 30s. So you probably bought into that old myth.
Well, Jerry, he lives life in the fast lane, though, right? So, I mean, there's that.
Believe me, at my 30s, I was still in my fast lane, especially my 20s and stuff. I was in a bar called the Fourth Quarter.
Wasn't that television show, The Dukes of Hazzard, based on his life?
Yeah, that was based on Jerry. Jerry and one of his cousins. Hey, my sister's here. Hello, Carla. How you doing? Carla Thompson's my youngest sister. Well, my only younger sister. Oh,
Merry Christmas, Carla.
You had the burrito bar today, huh? My sister's an excellent cook. Her daughter is a great baker. So is my sister Ruthann. Hey, Robert, how you doing, brother? Now,
Robert's in the house. Hey, Robert. Thank you for that Christmas greeting. I appreciate it.
I'm surprised my sister Carla's up.
My goodness.
Well, she's one of these that likes to go to bed early. She'll probably be going to bed in the next half hour to, right, Carla, about a half hour? You go to bed about 9 tonight? She likes to go to bed early and get up early. But she wants her 8 hours sleep, which, everybody's different. I'm the kind that don't want to go to bed and don't want to get up. I mean, I've been that way my whole life. And like I said, she's always been early to bed and early up. It's hard to believe we're brother and sister. I think she was adopted. That's what she says anyway. But when I was home, I had lunch with her and her husband. He's a nice guy. And actually, they were getting ready to go out and celebrate his birthday. They were going on a little trip. Now, Dan, she's the one that retired from the welfare department like you.
Yay! Party on. Pension.
Now, Carla,
incredible amount of money for doing nothing.
Dan retired from the welfare department back in Sacramento, California.
Sacramento, that's it. Party on. I was a guy that had the position where I didn't have to do any work. There's always one in every office. Nobody knows what they do. They just walk past, and they'll wake me up every now and again if a supervisor is starting to circle,
So, Carla, you're staying up late tonight, huh? Well, congratulations on that. She said, not tonight, Larry. So I was saying she was going to go to bed. So not early tonight. Yeah, Jerry, you sleep less than she. Well, you sleep about the same. She wants at least 8 hours sleep. And so, but she gets up and then she normally would go do her workout and stuff before she'd go to work. Well, she only works part-time now, You have a chapter in one of your clients' books all about you? Well, that's cool. Hopefully it's a good chapter. And, like I said, all four of my sisters are still alive. 3 of them are older than I am. Like I said, I'm almost 70, so but she's just barely in her 60s. There's quite a bit of difference between the oldest and the youngest, and so.
See
All
you,
right,
Sammy.
Take
Merry
care now.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas. So, but anyway, that's like I said, it was a fun day today. At work, the only person I seen, the only two people. Well, I saw three people. One, the guy I relieved at 7:00. One, there was a guy that, hey Timmy, Merry Christmas. One, there was a guy that parked out in the parking lot and went into a different entrance. He didn't come in my way. And he was only in for a couple of minutes and walked back out with nothing in his hands. So I don't even know if he got in the building. I don't know because it's not my interest. It's not my responsibility. But I did watch him and make sure he didn't take anything, which he didn't. And then the guy that relieved me. That's the only people I saw. I did talk to another guy, but he was working on a different post where, we're far enough away we can't see each other because the building's in between us. I think he said he saw two people. And he wasn't talking about the guy he relieved. And at that time, he hadn't been relieved yet. So he actually saw more people than I did.
Well, sometimes that's nice to have happen,
It was a nice, quiet day.
Yeah.
I ended up drinking a Mountain Dew. I usually don't drink Mountain Dew, but I needed the caffeine in the afternoon. And
Need to get pumped up a little bit, huh? Don't go crazy now, Larry.
oh no, I had just the one Mountain Dew. It was a diet Mountain Dew. I don't want that much sugar. I drank Coke Zero.
People start thinking you're out of control.
Well, they think that anyway. I mean, And, Timmy, if you want to come up, you can come up. Carla, you can come up. I don't know what you mean by 18 years, Carla. I know you said you have a chapter in one of your clients' books all about you. Then you say 18 years. So
she's 18 years in the job, on the job?
Oh, no, she was more than that.
Was she?
Yeah, she was more than that.
I did 22. I was a late bloomer.
She retired at 55 from the job.
Oh, congratulations. It's weird.
Hey,
I think
Merry Christmas, Des. How you doing?
Oh, Des is here. Hi, Des from Bye Bye City Latte.
Yeah, she said she was going to come by and say hi.
They did that fabulous Christmas giveaway for the kids.
Yeah, all right, Carla. I see what you're saying.
Hey, how are you, Des?
She was saying 18 years when I said there was quite a bit of difference between the oldest and the youngest.
Oh,
See,
18 years.
18 years, yeah.
Mm.
See, there would have been 9 of us. No, not 9, 7 of us. 8 of us.
Sounds
Sounds
like Tampo in between there somewhere.
No. There are quite a few kids in there. But, like I said, there was 8 of us, but like I said, my one brother passed away before she was born, or my younger brother was born. He only lived, from what my mom was telling me, he only lived about 2 weeks.
Oh.
And I thought it was a miscarriage because I knew there was a boy that was in between me and my younger brother. And I was thinking it was a miscarriage, but she said it was. He lived a couple of weeks, so he didn't live very long. I'm sorry to hear that it's raining, but I'd gladly take it. Of course, that would mean I'd be in Bye Bye City, but that wouldn't be a bad thing. But all right, now I got to get some things straightened out. And like I said, I got a mother that's still alive. She'll be 97 next month, so I'm not going anywhere out of country unless it's Canada, because that's just a few hours from me. And I can drive across the border anytime I want, so that's not a big whoop. But I'm not going anywhere. It would take me a day or two to get back home.
Hey, but them Canadian immigration officers, they mean business there, I'd rather go up against one of our people than one of them any day of the week.
I've never had trouble with them. I've been up there.
I don't know if it's the color of my skin or what, but I get the.
I can
tell you a story about how one time they they took the rental car and they tore it apart right in front of me.
Was that Mexico or
That was Canada going through the Canadian border above Albany. I'm sorry, but yeah, it was above Albany, just north of you.
Okay.
Well, I noticed the patrol car following me for a good 5 or 6 miles, and I was thinking to myself, I think I was by myself at the time, and I was thinking to myself, you know, they're planning something here, right? And so I didn't make any kind of furtive moves. Nope, I didn't pull off the road. I didn't try to turn around. I didn't try to make a YouTube. I just went with the program and went right into the border crossing, and then they just waved me over to secondary, and there I spent 2 hours there.
I've been lucky. I've been up there quite a few times.
Yeah.
Especially when I haven't been up there since I moved down here and since COVID. But I've been up there quite a few times since I moved down here, and I've never. They asked me, personal or business, pleasure or business, and it's always been pleasure for me. I'm not going up there to work. And then they asked, "Do you have anything to declare?" And this is going up. And then when you come back, where were you? Was it you got anything to declare to bring back and all that? And after they started getting a little more tighter later on, but they still never harassed me. One of these years, maybe next year if I think about it, I was working, so wasn't thinking too much this year. I want to go up there for their Festival of Lights. They have a really nice light display for Christmas at the falls on the Canadian side. I didn't make it up there this year, so hopefully I can do that next year. And
I think Minnie, if I'm not mistaken, Minnie went up north for the flower festival, and she told me the same thing happened to her. They jacked her up at the border for about 2 hours. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm interested in hearing what your experience is post COVID.
Like I said, I haven't been up there yet, so we'll find out.
Why don't you could live stream that? That'll thrill those folks over there. You can live stream it, the whole experience live on Larry's channel.
Yeah.
Here's Larry. No, wait. I'm a security officer in the state, right? Oh, put your hands behind your back, sir. They'll be walking you into the interview room.
Another thing, I would have to turn the sound off, I think, because if I remember right, they play music as you're driving through.
Oh, they probably do, yeah.
Yeah.
Calm down, Mr. Larry. Calm down. They play that calming down algorithm music,
And
we are the world. We are the future.
I think you pay so much per car. As I recall, because I never drove through it. When I went up for it, I went up with my oldest sister, her husband, his aunt, and I think one of the two of their boys. I think Tim went. Dave didn't go because he was married and had kids of his own. Hello, Pinky Gray. Welcome.
Pink. Pink. I didn't know you'd be here. I would have wore your hat.
I did. Now, my sister Carla said they were pulled over in Canada and had to go through customs. Now, Carla, was that through Niagara Falls or was that through Windsor? I know you go through both places. And
hey, speaking of people who aren't normally up at this hour, what's Pinky Gray's story? Pink, what are you doing?
She goes, the yellow one, Sir Dan.
Yeah, the yellow one, exactly. The yellow one with the smiley face is around here somewhere.
Well, go put it on.
I saw it here somewhere. Oh, man, Minnie is the custodian of that hat, so she's doing something right now.
Dan, Carla said that was in Windsor, Canada, the border crossing there, and it wasn't fun. She said 2 hours.
Yeah, they wanted to strip search me.
Yeah. Now, Pinky and anybody else that just came in or didn't hear me, Carla Thompson is my youngest sister. She's 7.5 years younger than me. All right, or thereabout, a little less than 7.5, but about 7.5 years younger. My younger brother was 5 years younger. And like I said, that I had a brother that passed away about 2 weeks old. Then myself, then my older brother, then my 3 oldest sisters. And so, yeah, there was a large family.
Yeah, really, Larry, you know, I'm surprised that you aren't doing a Christmas karaoke show.
Well, look, if you want to sing a song, you're more than welcome.
Oh, but Pink is here. Pink should come up and sing a song.
Pinky, if you want to come up and sing a Christmas song, come on up.
Ya da da ya dee 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 dee.
And Carla, I agree with you. You don't look your age. But then again, neither do I. and more importantly, I don't act my age. Never have.
The Union family reunion party. No wonder I didn't see you live last night, Pink.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. What's your excuse now? Come on up.
Yeah,
come on up and sing for us. At least one Christmas tune.
Jumbo hot dog would be all right too.
Jumbo hot dog, a very festive jumbo hot dog. Larry, you're funny.
Well, I like jumbo hot dog.
Yeah, I heard that about you.
That's only because of you, buddy.
Touche. By the way, what size they get? The jumbo hot dogs, they come in different sizes, right?
Yeah.
And plus, I heard you like the Hebrew National.
Yeah. Yeah, no. BB Coys TV, welcome. Glad to see you.
BB Coys.
Merry Christmas. Like I said, I actually got a lot more people from the Philippines than I thought I was going to get. Because, you know, Carl, in case you don't know, they're 13 hours ahead of the Eastern time zone because of our time change. So right now, it is, I got my clock blocked, going on 10 o'clock over there in the morning on Christmas morning. So,
let me chime in because I just got my weather alert. It's 74 degrees here in Bye City Leyte. Yeah. Cloudy with a chance of rain later on in the afternoon.
All right, Jerry, you have a good night, man. And just remember, you're nowhere near old. You're just barely getting to middle age. And I wouldn't even say you're there yet, but that's me. And like I said,
it's a hard life if you don't weaken. Or is that an easy life if you don't weaken?
It's a fun life if you try.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for correcting me. I knew it was in there somewhere.
I don't know if that's the correct saying or not, but that's the way I think about it. As long as you're having fun, you're doing well, you know? And you know, that's what I tell everybody. Always try to have fun.
Tim, hey, Tim. What's his name? The guy on YouTube that just bought the hotel who's setting up the restaurant. That's where we ought to go. He should be opened up. Far East Poppy. He should be opened up by the time I get over there. We need to check out his hotel and his restaurant over there. Far East Poppy YouTube channel.
Now, that's not down by Walking Street, is it?
No, that's way down the other end. That's over by, if you look up the Red Planet, there used to be a Red Doors hotel next door. And I swear to God, I never saw it. I never even knew it was there. But now they bought it, took it down. They're partnering up with some folks that are in the hotel business, I guess. And now they, they have a hotel and a restaurant, and they're doing a fabulous job on the remodel. If you go to Far East Poppy's YouTube channel, you could see all the work they've done on that hotel.
Well, see, now, if I was going to go over in that area instead of Angeles City, I would go to Subic Bay.
Subic Bay it's only a short drive away.
I know, but I'm just saying, If I was going to go, I'd have to go to Subic Bay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Simply because that's where my ship was at when I was in the Philippines.
No, you have to. I'm all for that. I'm all for you going back and retracing your youth.
Hey, Dumpster Fire, welcome, sir. Glad to see you here. But
I've done it. Hey, Larry, I got to tell you, I've driven. It hit me, and I've driven all. I did the reminiscent drive all the way through upstate New York.
Yeah.
And all the way down Long Island. I used to live in Long Island and went all the way out to Long Island. I used to deliver donuts on what's the base out there? Way out in Riverhead. I don't know if you know where Riverhead is. Way out there.
No, I don't
Riverhead, Rocky Point, and Shoreham, New York. Shoreham,
Yeah.
and then even lived in, like I said, Colony for a while.
Yeah, like I said, I lived in Rochester area. I never did live in Rochester. I lived in Elba. I lived in Batavia.
Who would miss ever living in Rochester? Just tell me that.
Well, no. There are areas in Rochester that would be nice to live, really.
Which area is that? The area where it crosses over the Canadian border? No.
No. Rochester never crosses the Canadian border.
Yeah, that's right. I'm thinking of Buffalo. That's another place that I'd never want to live.
No, I would live outside of either one of those cities before I'd live in them.
Yeah.
But I've been to Buffalo many times because that's where the VA major hospital up in that area.
I gotcha. Tim, you never heard of Far East Poppy? Tim, Far East Poppy was outside the door. Him and Mercy were getting on their motorcycle when we were finishing up our meal over there at the Mexican restaurant there. So remember after you met Philo in the Philippines and you shook his hand, and I was trying to grab Minnie because Minnie was halfway out of her seat because she was running out there because she wanted to meet Far East Poppy and Mercy. And I go, no. You'll terrify them. Don't do that. I had to grab her. No, Minnie, don't go. You're gonna scare them. I mean, she was like, "Oh, look, there's Far East Poppy and Mercy. I'm gonna go meet them." And she goes running out there. Thank God, by the time she got one step away from the table, right? I don't know if Tim remembers this. Tim was introducing himself over to Philo in the Philippines when this happened. Listen, all the YouTubers hang out at that one place, Tequila Reef. You guys have seen it on Overstay Roads channel. You know, everybody's always talking about Far East Poppy does a live stream from Tequila Reef. You know, they have the Breakfast Club. Anyway, I'm sorry. I just wanted to interject. If you ever want to meet the YouTube superstars and you're in Angeles City, then just go over to Tequila Reef early in the morning for breakfast and just wait for everybody to come in. And they're all there for breakfast, you know, from time to time. Anyway, that's who that was, Tim.
Hey, Deval, how you doing, sir? For some reason, I'm not getting all of Tim. Oh, there it is. They're out of order on this one compared to that one. I see.
Hey, Larry, by the way, have you guys, so on one of your lives, people were talking about missing Chris and Cebu, right?
Yeah.
But I have a question to pose about his mysterious disappearance or absence from YouTube. And that is, has it crossed anyone's mind that Chris and Cebu has a 9 to 5?
Well, he wasn't planning on working over there because you got to remember now, he's not a Filipino, so he's not going to get paid much.
No, he's got his visa now. He can work.
Okay, well then maybe he is.
Yeah, and so I started thinking about it. And guess what Dan did? I go searching around. Guess what I find? His pro forma resume online.
Oh, maybe he did. Maybe.
So I'm thinking he's working a 9 to 5.
All right, yeah, it could be a 9 to 5, maybe an override.
Or he's an independent contractor doing stuff that people do from the Philippines. You know, he's working it. You know, he's working it. So I'm thinking that that's a possibility.
Hey, Nanette, how you doing? Deval, we're about the same temperature as you. I think we're it was 11 or I want to say it was 11 Fahrenheit here. So it was a minus 12 Celsius. So nice and cold. And now Deval's another one that I know from. You and I both know from Chris and Sabu. We got Dumpster Fire that's telling everybody hello, Chris and Sabu. You know, a lot of us, Jerry, Chris and Sabu.
Hey, by the way, dumpster fire. I was actually watching the live stream when Man Repeats a Story banned him because he had said something that he was saying something tongue in cheek, making a joke. Mark found it to be offensive, and he banned him for life. Yeah, he made his wife ban him.
Who's that? JLB?
Yeah, it was hilarious. I still make fun of him because of that. Mark has no sense of humor, and the next thing you know, JLB starts up a new channel name. Every Man Repeats a Story. It's hilarious.
Oh, is that JLB? I've seen that. I've not seen one of his vlogs, but I've seen that Every Man Repeats a Story.
You know, he's one of. I mean, JLB is one of the funniest characters I do believe that I've ever met on YouTube. I wonder where he's at right now.
Now you got to remember now, Dumpster Fire, Chicken Blank, and a few others. They don't like JLB.
Yeah, they don't like JLB. Yeah, and I don't even. Frankly, I'm not even sure I know who JLB is. I think I do. You know, I think I do, but. And I've only seen one video with JLB. I started thinking that JLB was a made-up fictional character. Yeah, but there actually is a JLB from what I gathered.
Well, yeah, he's got his channel. These guys all go to it and give him a hard time.
Right.
And no, Deval, no one's heard from Dan. Chris, I mean, Dan was speculating that maybe he's got a 9 to 5.
Yeah, I actually was curious because everybody was talking about him, Tim. So I started stalking him online on Google, and then I ran into his pro forma, his resume that he posted. He posted on a website for I think independent contractors.
Well, with his
So
daughter,
all's fair in love and war. You know, you can find out all kinds of terrible things about me, every crime I've committed. You know, you can find out about my many divorces. You could find out when I hit the lowest part in my life. You could find out when I hit the highest part in my life.
my lowest part is nowhere to be found.
Good for you. Good for you. You could have been pre-internet, but everything about me is up there. It is about most people. Hey, you would be surprised what's online, and you know.
Oh no, they'll have stuff that's not even true about you online. Come on.
It's all true.
No, I'm just saying.
In my case.
they had one of these things was showing a Lawrence Lee with my relatives. My name's not Lawrence, never been Lawrence. So they said, "Is this you?" And I was like, "No." So, but you know, my real name is Larry. That's my birth name. It's on my birth certificate. But
well, I told you guys a story about how they associated me with that the Colombian drug dealer, you know, and I had to, you know, the burden of proof is on you to prove you're not the Colombian drug dealer that they're looking for.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I believe it. And Miha, welcome. I don't know who you are, but you're more than welcome. Glad to see you here. But I'm pronouncing it Mihawk as MEHAK, which US is being separate. So the gentleman's or ladies more than welcome to be here. You all know that. I don't care. We're all doing very well. And I hope you are too, Mihawk. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Yeah, I'm with you, Tim. I really don't want to see it. I mean, what's on there is either going to be very embarrassing or very boring. So, and I'm going to know it already anyway. So why look? They say.
Well, Tim, I could tell you what's on there about you if you care to know. You can send me a private message. I want to protect your privacy to the best of my ability until I get your permission to share it with everybody. Listen, I thought that was funny.
Like I said, the heck with that dish, man. Dish.
Nah, if everybody knew about Tim, he'd be doing the perp walk right now. It's amazing what he's gotten away with.
Well, like I said, thankfully there was no internet.
That's why he has no desire. But hey, now that I've said that, that arrest in front of the Pussycat Theater on Hollywood Boulevard is absolutely true.
Hello, Amy. Welcome. Merry Christmas. I hope your Christmas is going well there. Amy's a new subscriber to my channel. She's in the Philippines as well. So I was glad to have her here. And we're still trying to, Pinky Gray doesn't want to come up and sing for us. So
where did she go? Did we scare her off? Did I scare her off? Pink, where are you? Pink.
Hello, Helen. How you doing? Merry Christmas. Helen's saying Merry Christmas to everybody. So, but yeah. It says, Tim says, Dan, do it. Send him a report on himself.
Dude, send me the report. Yeah, I get that a lot.
I say just keep it. Go ahead and put it online.
Yeah, we'll just put it online first instead.
Oh, okay. All right, Amy. Amy's in a guitar, so there's no Christmas there. All right. I'm sorry. Well, Merry Christmas anyway. Our happy holidays, because I know they got a holiday somewhere around this time of year. Hey, Mel, how you doing?
Hi, Mel.
Mihawk, if you got a channel, type in LLL, and my Nightbot will drop your link. So if you want people to visit you, just type in LLL. And it doesn't matter if it's capital L's or small L's. Just type in 3 L's and my Nightbot will drop your link. The 3 L's represent my channel name, Lazy Larry Lee. So go ahead and drop it and we'll get you going.
So, hey, Larry, let me ask you a question, if I might. Where you're working, were they nice to you and bring you presents? Did they bring you like cookies and cake and candies? And
the thing is, where I work at, it's a warehouse, and it's warehouse for restaurants and stuff.
Ah.
So every once in a while, they put out free stuff for anybody that wants it.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday they had cereal out. Also yesterday, it was yesterday.
Was there any Captain Crunch in there?
No, it was
peanut butter Captain Crunch.
No, it was Kellogg's original, I think. But they had Oreo cookies. They had different types of chips.
I'm a chip guy.
But
did you grab it? Did you grab handfuls?
No, I grabbed a couple packages of the Oreo cookies and one bag of chips. That was it.
Oh man, I would have scooped up the Oreos and then I would have opened up a stand on the corner. I would have started selling them.
Well, you got to remember the other employees are in there. I think if I took them all, they'd be mad at me.
There'd be a mutiny. Yeah. You're probably right about that. They'd start accusing you of stealing stuff like they do all the security officers.
Oh no. I only took one package of the Oreo cookies, and one of the guys grabbed another and handed it to me. He started to grab more, and I said, "No, two's enough."
Hey, by the way, you're reminding me of something, Larry. You know, they're packing here in Bye Bye City. They're packing. I mean, they're carrying weaponry here.
All right.
And I was asking around saying, hey, what is that? They said, well, we've been hit before. What do you mean we've been hit before? If you don't know your history about Bye Bye City Leyte, Dan, you better go learn it, because this has been blown up before. I said, you're kidding me.
Hold on a minute. Amy, for some reason it didn't drop yours. Put the LLL in again. Let's get it dropped here.
Drop your link, but don't drop out of life.
Yeah. Now, Carla, you have a good night. Merry Christmas. Give my love to Dave and enjoy your Christmas movie. Love you, girl. Take care.
Bye, Carla. See you next time. Merry Christmas.
She dropped in one other time for a short period of time.
I remember. I was lurking that day.
Yeah.
But, like I said, she was my 300th subscriber. Her husband was my 299th. They subscribed when I was back home, and they didn't belong to YouTube. And I was, that we were talking. This is when we had our lunch together,
Mm-hmm.
and we noticed, that we had the where I was at. So Dave went ahead and subscribed. So he was 299, and she subscribed. She was 300. Now I'm at 4 something. Last time I looked, it was 420. Then it was at 422, then dropped back down to 420. Then it's back up to 422. So looks like I got a message here, but that'll wait till after this is over. And but yeah, it was.
Uh-oh. I hear the carolers out there. Man, Minnie's going to have to open up her purse. Hey, they've been hitting us 2 or 3 times a day. Same kids go down the street, change their shirts, and come back with a different outfit, collect up again.
Yeah, that's what I figured. I figured the same.
That's pretty funny, huh? Huh, Leonard?
Yeah.
Well, no.
Yeah, well, it's impressive, so I don't say anything. I just pay them.
Yeah.
Now, Mihawk says, one day I got subscribers, the next day I'll drop. Why? I'm going to tell you my theory on this. There's a couple.
Yeah, what is it? That's confusing. I meant to ask you about that.
Well, one of the things like I said, one of my theories is you'll get people to tell you, oh, I subscribed, please subscribe back. And so when you subscribe back, they drop because they didn't tell you when they drop. They'll tell you who's subscribed, but it doesn't tell you when they drop. That's only if, there's people that'll join that won't tell you that they joined because that's the way they're marked. They're marked not to, it doesn't tell people that they've joined because they're just joining to join,
Mm-hmm.
But also, if it is a Ninja account, and YouTube finds out it's not a real account, they'll subtract them from your.
Yeah, they'll take it away. Yeah.
So I think
I also heard that if you subscribe to somebody and don't watch part of one of their videos, it won't count.
Yeah, they'll deactivate you, but as soon as you watch one, you're reactivated.
Yeah,
and I think it's got to be like one a month or something like that. There's not a lot.
Yeah, I'm subscribed to so many people I couldn't even watch one a month on all of them.
Well, I can, but that's going to be, you got to really pay attention. I got to get a book, and I'm not lying, a notebook or something, and write down everybody I'm subscribed to. And then every week, when I watch one of their videos, write down the day that I watched it. So, all right, I haven't watched this person for a long time. I'm all caught up or not that bad on these others. We go to theirs. I got to come up with some kind of system to keep track.
Yeah, me too.
I
try to go to everybody's, but man.
Well, there's certain ones.
It's getting hard, huh? I can't even. I used to answer all of mine, and I can't do it anymore.
Yeah. Yep.
But like I said,
killing me. It's killing me, Larry. What do I do? It's killing me.
I just got to get ambitious to make some more videos.
Well, I actually have somebody that I'm going to task with making sure that I'm up to date on it. Social media consultant. I don't know how the whole thing works. You know, I'm losing interest. I got to tell you guys the truth. I'm losing interest in YouTube really fast. You know why? Because of the drama. There's so much drama. You should see the kind of crap I get. You know, I get people accusing me of sleeping with their daughter from time to time. But some of that is true and some of it is false. You know.
Yeah, whenever Minnie's dad or mother accuses you of sleeping with their daughter, you are guilty.
Yeah.
I mean, for crying out loud, you know, it's ridiculous. Dan, you haven't been to my you haven't been to my live in the last forever. You know, you forgot about me. I get this crap. And I go, man, I am a busy retiree. You know, I'm busy.
Well, like I said, I actually honestly make an effort. Now, the nice thing about my job, if I'm not busy, I can listen. And so
you know what's so weird, Larry? I could say a million times to somebody, I could say to them, it isn't personal. You know, I've become so busy. And for some reason, they will not accept that as being an answer. You know, I'll get some attack like, oh, but I was there for you in the very beginning and blah, 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 blah. It goes on like that. I go, and I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. I mean that from the bottom of my heart.
Well, see, what I'll do if I'm at work, I'll go in, I'll say hi. If there's an ad, I watch the ads, and I type watching ads. Then I say hi. And then I also type in, I'm at work. I can't stay long. So I'll stay anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes, and then I bounce out. Because like I said, I am at work, you know. And I'll hit 2 or 3 sometimes. Maybe I think I've hit 4 live streams in one day. But, you know, you're only in there for a few minutes because you're at work. You can't stay all day.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And then you have so many.
I really appreciate how you keep up on everything, you guys. Tim was saying he likes live cereal. He likes the cereal that Mikey likes.
Yep. But Mikey likes everything.
Mikey likes everything, exactly.
Mikey, all you do. And Amy, I still haven't seen your link drop. So please type in AA. Listen to me.
Oh.
Type in LLL again, please. I still haven't seen it drop. I've seen you put the L's in one time, but I've never seen it drop. Now, Mahawk, his is dropped every time he put the L's in. So I don't know what's going on here. It should always go for a pretty woman. Come on, Nightbot. What's wrong with you?
Nightbot is sleeping. I'm going to try it.
Yeah.
Does it need to be in caps, or can you just put LL?
It could be caps or small letters. It doesn't matter. I put it in caps in my stream below it because I want to make sure people know what I'm doing.
There's Amy's.
There it is. All right, we got Amy's up. All right, Amy, thank you. I'm glad it came up that time. And Leonard and Dan both put theirs in. Let's see what. Maybe because it was so close with the other guys, Nightbot didn't do it. No,
it could be.
Leonard's. It did yours.
Interesting.
Hasn't done Dan's yet, but it's.
Nightbot is just sleeping on the job. Yeah, most people don't. Because why is it? I have no idea. But I just noticed certain. I think it's because I'm the anti-YouTuber, to a certain degree.
Yeah. Now, Amy, you're more than welcome if you ever want to come up and talk with us.
Yeah, come on up.
You're more than welcome to come up right now. We won't
sing us a song.
We won't bite because there's a monitor between us, so we can't bite.
I would bite if I could, but
maybe slap you upside the back of your head. Now, I can do it.
That's how my head got this flat to begin with.
Yeah, I'm going
in the back of the head by the old man so many times. I ended up getting a flat back.
I'm going bald for being slapped so many times.
Yeah, I got a haircut today. I don't know if you guys noticed, but see, look, there's the bald, right down the middle, just like my grandfather. Yeah, Minnie said,
Oh,
we
yeah.
need to clean you up for Thailand, get you ready. We're entering a completely different world.
That's almost as far gone as mine.
Yeah. Well, eventually we'll just shave it all down and polish it all up,
Hey guys, I think I got the least.
Well,
But you wear it well.
Well, I don't wear it. How about this? See, now, Dan, I'm like you. What we got to do is wear our hats.
Yeah.
So we can hide it.
Oh,
yeah,
did
I gotta
share
get
the
one
story?
now.
Hey, on my live, I shared this story. I just want to share it with you guys because this is going to happen to you.
Hold on a minute. Carla, thank you. I'll get that picture here in a little while. She was just telling me that she sent me a picture of her and her husband.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh, great.
So
right, the story is, guys, I'm sitting in the Dunkin', right? And I was doing my final booking arrangements for this coming up to Thailand. Now, I hope people don't.
That's okay, Amy.
Because of a trip, this isn't like a budget trip, but so you can't call me low budget Dan this time. But here's the thing, right? I'm in the Dunkin'. My wife and I were sitting in the Dunkin' at our usual time, usual place, and guy comes in and he just gives me a pat on the back saying, I know you. I know everything about you. I watch your YouTube channel. And my reaction was, I knew that this day would come. Today was the day. And the reaction you can never predict. I'm telling you, but prepare yourself for this. Prepare. I was overwhelmed with gratitude of the acknowledgement. I was so worried about what that first time event was going to be like. And so there was a guy and talking to me just like we were buddies, like we'd known each other for years. And I have heard other YouTubers describe this feeling, And so I'm completely comfortable with being a YouTube superstar.
Hey, compared to me, you're in the stratosphere, buddy. I'm still under the ground.
No, but it's going to happen to you, Larry.
Well, I told you.
It's going to happen.
I told you I had that one employee walk in. And he said, Hi, Lazy Larry. And I wasn't sure I heard him right. I said, what'd you call me? He goes, You're Lazy Larry Lee, right? I said, yeah. He said, I just said, Hi, Larry. He said, I was in the background.
Beautiful.
Last Saturday, he said he was in the background for he said, I only watched 10 minutes. I said, that's fine. You're welcome to anytime if you want to stay in the background and stay only a few minutes. You're more than welcome to come in. But I don't know if he was looking for me or if he just saw it on YouTube. Said that looks like the guy from work. I think I'll check it out. I didn't ask him. And,
that's thrilling, really.
Yeah. But so I don't know. Does this show me up a little bit better, or should I go back to? Oops, hang on.
Oh, that's good right there, man. That light reflects off the white wall or whatever it is, and
it's a closet door.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. See my clothes.
Okay, well,
see my clothes now. Now you don't see my clothes. So see, there's still.
Oh yeah, but that's good right there. I think. I don't know. What do you think, Leonard?
Let me get back over there. I was checking something else out.
No, get out of that website. Get out of that website, Leonard. Get out of that Asian Christian dating website.
Yeah, I wasn't on that one this time.
He was on something a little bit more mature than that.
We shall overcome. We shall overcome.
No, it was actually a Facebook message I was responding to.
Oh, Facebook. Hey, so all of a sudden, I noticed this, right? That either one of you I get a lot of responses from single women. And what I've noticed is the mutual connection is always either Lazy Larry or Leonard, right? So I'm thinking to myself, The mutual connection. I wonder what these guys have going
mutual
on.
friend.
Let me think. What could be going on here?
I tell you, man.
I can't answer that one.
I keep getting these. Hey, Ed DeNoise here. Merry Christmas, Ed.
Yeah. Hey, how are you, Ed?
I keep getting these requests to join my Lazy Larry Lee Facebook. And if they seem like they're decent people, I go ahead and hit OK. And some of them have you because they're in bye-bye. Or they have a few other people that are on my Facebook already. And those I let in. I look at some, and it's like automatic rejection. It's like delete this because it's like you can tell. Some of them they're not hiding the fact that they're not looking for a friendship. They're looking for
Sugar daddy,
or they're looking to exploit lonely men, with pictures and stuff like that. And I have, like I said, I have no desire to that. I have no desire for any of that. It's not that I don't like.
Yeah. Go ahead, Larry. I'm sorry.
I said I'm not. It's not that I'm attractive women because I don't. But let's be honest about it, guys. I have no clue when I would go to the Philippines, and I'm not going to get in any relationship where I haven't met the woman or know I'm going to meet her shortly.
Right.
And I would prefer not to get in any relationship till after I meet her.
Hey, you know what?
Right.
You just reminded me of something. There are a couple of new YouTube videos up that Geo and some that are talking about location first, location before the girl.
Yeah, find a place to be, and then the girl will show up eventually.
Yeah, so that's the timing of that observation there, Larry's pretty good.
Well,
yep.
I don't know what's his name, Mike in the Philippines or Mike Retirement in the Philippines, something like that. I just subscribed to him. He's in Dumaguete. He's in Dumaguete. He was one of the people that's on my Facebook page, Lazy Larry Lee, and so I had to catch one of his videos, and I enjoyed it, so I went ahead and subscribed.
Yeah,
and
he's got a good channel.
And he was showing a couple of rental apartments there in Dubai.
Oh yeah, I know who you guys are talking about now.
Yeah,
it's not the guy who spells his name M-Y-K-E. It's the guy that spells it M-I-K-E. Yeah.
And his girlfriend's name is Janet.
Mm-hmm.
But the first one I watched was just him. He was showing the apartment. They had a partial furnished apartment and an unfurnished apartment. Both of them were 2 bedrooms. And fairly cheap. The partly furnished was American money, $245. The unfurnished was $200 a month. That's not that bad, really.
Right.
Now he couldn't show you the unfurnished one because people were still living there, moving out. But the unfurnished one, they'd already moved out, so he was able to show you that they're supposed to be the same size, but one's partly furnished and one isn't. And the one that was partly furnished had some beds and some places to sit and stuff. But
for me, though, I tell you, you can see the price of everything going skyrocket over here. It's happening on a daily basis, especially after they announced that the U.S. is coming back to the Philippines. Doing shared bases, and now you're seeing ads go out there for support staff and medical personnel and all kind of stuff online.
Now, Ed, that's a real good group to celebrate Christmas with. And Waldo, welcome, sir. Sir, if you want, type in LLL, and my Nightbot will drop your link. Waldo's one of them that I belong to. He's one of my
Where's Waldo? Where's Waldo?
I'm subscribed to Waldo. And Ed's got a good group to have a party with. He's got Jack, Hyman, Johnny, and my old granddad. Now, Johnny, is that red or black? Are the two brothers both there?
Hey, Ed, is my brother-in-law Johnny Walker there?
He says Johnny's there. I'm just wondering
Yeah.
which Walker.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. That's a brother-in-law, Johnny Walker.
Which one, black or red? But I used to love Old Granddad. I used to drink Old Granddad quite a bit. Also, Wild Turkey. Yeah, I had a. Tim's all right. Tim, no problem. Tim's another one I'm subscribed to. I love his channel. He has some really good information on the Philippines and some other things.
Yeah, but Tim never shows naked women walking down Watkins Street.
Well, that's a smart man. He doesn't want to get banned. But besides that, then you get the wrong kind of people going to his channel. You know, because they would be cussing him out every time he didn't do it. But
I like Focus on Asia's channel. I don't know if you guys know Focus on Asia.
no, there's I'm trying. Oh, blessed Asian Unscripted. Have you ever caught him?
Oh yeah, sure.
I
Sure.
belong to his too. I've always liked his as well. Now he went during the pandemic. He went back to the States. He's back in the Philippines now. But
Hey, so's Enrique.
Leonard-
I hear Enrique.
yeah, Leonard, if you're talking, you got your mic mute. So you'll have to take it off mute. Now you may be talking on the phone because he does.
Well, he's
that.
taking a phone call.
That's why I said he may be on the phone, but I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
But Johnny Walker, Maluto, Larry. Maluto, is that red? That's red, isn't it? Johnny Walker red? Maluto? Negro's black. But like I said, I used to drink Johnny Walker, Jim Beam, Jack Daniels, Old Granddad. I understand, Tim. Tim says he doesn't want to get in trouble with his girlfriend. She works down that area. But hey, Marianne, how you doing, Marianne? Merry Christmas, young lady.
Marianne is here.
Yeah, she just got it. She just popped in.
Hi,
Now,
Marianne. Nice to see you. Thanks for those Christmas greetings in the Facebook.
Now, Waldo and Marion, type it. Please go ahead and type in LLL, and my Nightbot will drop your channel links. I don't know how many people here subscribe to you already. Okay, what do you got? Red and black mixed. Now, see, now you're really going to have a party if you got Captain Morgan there with you. You know. But it's been a while since
All there. The gang's all there.
Marianne just said hello to you, Dad. Merry Christmas. But yeah, like I said,
Merry Christmas, Marianne.
I got a lot more people from the Philippines than I was expecting. But that's all right. We'll take more if they want to show up. And,
Oh my goodness gracious!
what's wrong?
I'm just looking at. I could hear my wife laughing outside the door. I just saw what she posted on Facebook. She showed me giving her a little smooch on the lips.
Okay. Cappy's
Yeah.
around somewhere, huh? Oh, that's good to have Cap Morgan. I used to love rum and coke back when I was 21, 22 years old. Now I was more of a Bacardi or Rodrigo. And Bacardi mostly, but Captain Morgan later on because of this, you get the spice rum, and it was really good. And so, yeah, like I said, in my teens, when I went in the Navy at 18 to about, somewhere in my 30s, I was a hard charger when it comes to drinking, let's say. And then I started slowing down. I really slowed down on my late 50s. And I slowed down quite a bit in my 30s too, but then I slowed down a lot more in my 50s. Because I used to, when I was in my teens and 20s and 30s, I probably went drinking every day. If I had money, I went drinking. Now in my teens and 20s, I spent enough money on alcohol, I could have bought a house. Almost all my money went to alcohol or chasing after women and going out to eat. That's where all my money went. Especially
it's so weird that you share that story because I didn't start drinking until day before yesterday.
You think I can get away with telling that story?
Oh my gosh.
All right, Tim, we'll see you when you get back.
But heck, that doesn't mean that you have to give up drinking forever, Larry,
Oh no, I live by myself.
Yeah.
I don't drink and drive.
Uh-huh.
And there's not a bar close to me that I can walk to. So it's not that I won't drink. It just I had a drink a couple years back. I was in Boston area. This was about maybe 2 or 3 years ago. I had a couple beers because we were at a hotel. We were staying there. We were staying there that night. It was it was my birthday, and so I had a couple beers. Now, I didn't get drunk, but I did have a couple beers. And
hey, I have a word of advice for you. If you're in a big city, next time when it comes to drinking, and that is that don't drink World Cup soccer players.
Don't drink any professional athlete.
Those are words to live by, let me tell you, because I woke up one morning with a tap on the door from the Canadian Mounted Police, and they were like, "What are you doing in the backseat of that car?" And I looked around and I said, "I have no idea." And they just sort of chuckled and rode off on their mounts.
Now, and I disagree. Drinking and driving at the same time is probably the best thing than getting drunk then driving. I've done both. I have gone out in the country drinking and driving, running around, partying. I've done that more than once. But no, it's not a good thing, but it was a fun thing.
Thank God, no DUIs to my name. I don't know how that happened.
Are we talking felonies, misdemeanors, or infractions?
Anything.
I got an infraction.
Because back in the day, they used to say, let me follow you home, and make sure you get there safely.
Either that, or sometimes they'd take you home.
Yeah, them are the good old days.
They'd say, "All right, can you walk? You can walk. Go ahead and drive. Or walk. You're close enough. Walk home." But I got pulled over for drinking and driving when I was in the Navy. Now this is back before bad, okay, and I got it, kicked out. I wasn't convicted of it, but they reduced it to a
reckless driving, huh?
Yeah,
reckless driving is there,
and they offered that without me even asking. It's like, hey, if and this is the DA or one of his minions came over and says, if we reduce it to reckless driving, will you plead guilty? Yeah, sure, no problem. Because, I was.
Mm-hmm.
And I still had to go to driving school. This was out in San Diego, California, like I said, when I was in the Navy. And I'm going to tell you the truth. Back in those days, if I was driving and it was after 10 o'clock at night, they could have pulled me over every night and got me for that.
Yeah, San Diego, that's interesting because I down at the Duncan, one of the guys is a retired San Diego police officer.
Oh,
And
yeah?
so it's kind of fun. Yeah, he's a really fun guy. It's really interesting to hear some of the stories that he tells.
How old is he?
He's, I would say he's younger than I am a little bit.
Oh, then he might not. I had a friend. She was a San Diego cop. Now, she became a cop later. All right. Her mom owned the bar I went to. That's how I know her. Her mom, if I got too drunk, her mom would take me back to the base. She wouldn't let me drive. That would have saved me a lot of, believe me, it probably saved me a lot of money. And if it was the weekend and if I had the day off, my friend, she was married. So, I mean, she was never there. But I met her quite a few times. But anyway, if it was a weekend and I had the next day off, like a Friday or Saturday night, and I had Saturday or Sunday off, sometimes she'd just take me back to her house and pour me into her spare bedroom. And I met her daughter on her 21st birthday, the one that became a cop later. And but I'm playing around. Like I said, I was drunk, and back in those days, I was a drunk. And I was a pretty good pool shooter. Not great, but I was a pretty good pool shooter. And the first couple of games, I didn't know she couldn't shoot because her mom and dad both could shoot pretty good pool. And I slaughtered her.
Wow.
So I realized she couldn't shoot that well. So I'm just playing around and not shooting, trying to win. And so she's winning the game. And we had a guy we called Newspaper because if you told him anything, everybody knew. So he was a newspaper. That was what her mom gave him the nickname because she goes, you can't tell him anything. He'll tell everybody. He's a newspaper. So anyway, I'm sitting there shooting and she's winning. And he starts saying, oh, don't worry. He's no good. So I said, you want to bet a drink? He goes, yeah, I'll bet you a drink. I turned around, read the table, and just turned around and looked at him, bud. So we went back to playing pool again, and I started goofing off again. It's like, buddy, shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. But because, like I said, it was her birthday. You know, I don't want to kill her, you know, on the table. She's
It's
just
her
learning.
birthday.
Yeah. It was her 21st birthday.
You would have traumatized her.
No, I'm just.
She would have been kicked out of the police academy.
No, she hadn't even decided to go to the police academy yet.
Yeah,
She
see
didn't-
the influence of her mom owning a bar over her career.
I'm trying to think. It was like 3 or 4 years later that she went to the police academy. I want to say about 3. I want to say 3 years later. It could have been 2, but I want to say 3 years later she became a police officer. Now she's only, maybe 5 years younger than me, so she's probably older than that guy. So they may have served together. They may not have. But she was a San Diego cop. She was half Korean, half Japanese. Her maiden name was Como. Her first husband, which she was married when she joined the police force, his last name was Grindle. Now they got a divorce later on, and she remarried. I don't know what her
What was the last name?
Grindle.
Grindle. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey,
Katie Grindle. Katie Grindle was her name.
look at this. Ed wants to know, when did a DUI replace DWI?
Ed, I can answer that for you right now. It depends on what state you're in.
Yeah.
Some states call it a DUI, driving under the influence, and some call it DWI, which is driving while intoxicated. And some states
have both.
Some states have both. The DUI is less than the DWI.
Right.
Because you're not, to get the DWI, you got to be drunker than you got to be to get the DUI.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. No, I agree. You're right.
But what
Hey, Ed, did you pay a ton of money for your hat? Ed's saying he's got a hat like mine. I'm just curious if he paid a ton of money, and did he buy it through Amazon? Because that's where I'm from. So,
Amy, I'm sorry. I just now noticed that you're leaving. I hope you're still there so I can say bye. Merry Christmas. She's telling all three of us Merry Christmas and telling us to have a Merry Christmas with our families. I won't be able to.
Merry Christmas.
No, I won't either.
Well,
Bells are ringing, la da 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 dee dee.
my youngest sister who was here, she's back in Terre Haute, which if you watch some of my videos, that's where I was at back in November.
Yeah.
And then my oldest sister lives up by Rochester, which is about 3.5 hours to 4 hours, depending on traffic and weather conditions and how fast I want to drive.
Hey, brothers don't let sisters live in Rochester.
She don't live in Rochester. She lives in a little town called Elba.
That's different.
Right outside of the town. Right outside
that's like Elba toast.
Yeah. But Elba is a very small farming community. All right. Her husband, they moved there from Batavia when he got a job at Eastman Kodak. Not Eastman Kodak, excuse me, Sylvania, the TV company. He used to design color TVs. And they moved from Fort Wayne, Indiana, because of the job to Batavia. Now they already had both their sons at this time. And so they decided, they were going to move out in the country because it'd be better for the boys, give them some, place to play around instead of in the city. So they had a house built out in Elba. So they're about 8 miles from Batavia. And then Sylvania closed down. They sold out. They closed that place down in Batavia. And he ended up going to work for Eastman Kodak. And he stayed there until he retired. Eastman Kodak had about 10 years ago, about 11 years ago, they had a big bloodletting where they just really cut their staff and all this happy stuff. And so he was like 58 or so.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. So he got over a year's buyout where he got paid. Well, no, that got him to where he could touch his retirement without penalties. He spread it out. It wouldn't have been as much if he kept working, but he could take his retirement without being penalized. And they told him that, well, now, you can take this amount of money every month, but when you pass away, Wanda won't, I don't know if they said Wanda, but his wife won't get anything, or you can take this amount every month. And if anything happens to you, she'll get the same amount, or you can roll it out. And if he touched it when they rolled it out, it'd have been taxed. So he went and talked to a money management group.
Yeah, it's killing me.
So he had it rolled out, and he never touched it.
Goodness.
And then about a couple years later, Kodak killed everybody's retirement. But his was all right because he rolled it out. And then,
can you picture that? Picture this, getting screwed over by Kodak.
Yeah.
Picture that.
So anyway, about 59 and a half, he was able to, he stretched his money out that he was able to start taking his retirement. And it made things tight out for a little bit until they hit, because they're the same age, basically. My sister's a couple of months older than him. So at 62, they both got their Social Security. My sister worked some. She went back to teach. She was a teacher. And after the boys got into school, she did substitute teaching. Because that way, if one of them was sick, she didn't have to go teach. But because she was
was she one of those teachers that threw chalk at you if you were talking when she was giving a lesson?
Only if it was me.
I got hit right here between the eyes. If it would have caught me on the and dead.
Yeah, but no, she taught grade school mostly, and then until she started subbing, and then it was junior high, and then when she went back, she went for the higher grade level, and then later on, she went to work for the state. Not the state; it was a state-run adult education program, BOCES. I don't know if you've ever heard of BOCES. It's a state-run adult education. Like if you drop out, you can go get your GED. She worked in a female prison as a teacher for BOCES, and she loved it. But every time she went to the prison, a guard had to escort her, and they had to stay in the classroom with her. But it was a female prison, and she loved it until BOCES lost the contract and somebody else got it. But that's what she did. So she had a retirement coming on her own. So when they hit 62, Their house was paid off. Now they could have had, which I'm sure they decided they're really glad when John got laid off. They could have had a much bigger house because John made that kind of money. Like I said, he was an electrical engineer, and but they built a house that they could afford to pay whatever the payment was, and still go on nice vacations as a family. And they decided that's what they wanted to do. They had a 4-bedroom Cape Cod, so like I said, they had a nice house, but they could have had something bigger if they wanted. And because they got the smaller house, when he got laid off, it wasn't that hard on them because they were when he was working, and they were making extra payments, so they got it. But it was paid off by the time they hit 62, got their Social Security, and then now they're doing quite well. Like I said, they're both going to be 80. They're 10 years older than I am. They'll both be 80 next year.
Wow.
And yeah, my youngest sister's not even 62 yet. Like she said, 18 years. And she's off by just like 17 days. Because my youngest sister's birthday is April 1st, April Fool's Day. And my oldest sister's birthday is April 18th. And that's all the difference it is in 18 years. And yeah, my oldest sister was a senior in high school. My mom got pregnant with my little sister. And she thought that was terrible. Well, she'll tell you she didn't, but she thought it was terrible. Until she went to college and all the college kids thought it was great. She had the baby little sister. But yeah,
Long
Leyte.
Beach. Dang, I can't even afford to drive through Long Beach these days, Ed.
Man, Ed, the last time I was in Long Beach, I was still in the Navy. Now, the first time I was there, it was a hopping town. I mean, it was hopping. They had the Navy base there. And then I went up, about a year after they closed the Navy base, and that place was dead. And I mean, you know.
But only rich people live there now, Larry.
Yeah. Well,
Yes.
what I'm saying is, but Long Beach was anti-Navy. They wanted the Navy out. We don't need it. We're large enough. We don't need the Navy. And what are we going to lose? A few bars. Well, they lost a lot more than a few bars because they forgot that everybody that was stationed there, well, their wives and kids went out and spent money. The sailors that came in, well, they went to other things besides the bars. We got restaurants, entertainment venues. You know, they had this amusement park like when I was there that was hopping.
Oh yeah, the Pike. Ed just brought it up right down here in the bottom of the screen here.
Yeah,
The Pike.
That place was no longer. I don't even know if it was open anymore, but it wasn't open on the week during the week anyway. And you had Seal Beach right down the road from there. They were still there. Seal Beach is where you went and got your ammunition for your ship before you went overseas, or when you came back, you drop it off there. That was an ammunition dump.
Yeah, think about Long Beach now. Those if you hung on to one of those little 1940 homes, you're a multimillionaire now.
Oh, that's anywhere along the
I mean,
coast.
really.
No, I'm talking about anywhere along the coast of California. Whew.
I mean, it's amazing.
Oh yeah, it's really even San Diego. It's gone crazy. I mean, I got a friend, him and his wife. He didn't retire. He was in the Navy, got out. They went to Washington State for a while, which is where he was from. Or she was from San Diego, so they moved back to San Diego, be near her family. They got a 2-bedroom apartment because she had a daughter, and he raised a daughter since she was about 2. And so they got a 2-bedroom apartment. They're still in that 2-bedroom apartment because of rent control. I don't know if it's all over California, but San Diego had rent control, and they couldn't afford to move out. They didn't need
Rent
to.
control, what's that? In New York City.
No, that was in San Diego. He said he couldn't afford to move. They had to stay in that 2-bedroom apartment. It would cost them too much. And so, there they are.
But it is saying it has its ghettos, but I don't know.
Every place has its ghettos, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
Now,
I don't know. The rich and famous, they're going to go in there and scoop them up. And
now it depends on, I'm going to tell you the truth, it all depends on where you're at, how bad the ghetto is.
Right.
Okay, if you're in a rich area, the ghetto is probably not as bad as, let's say, you're Oakland, all right, or Chicago, or New York City. You know, those ghettos are really bad.
that's
Yep.
true. That's true. Unless you're a liquid millionaire, if all your assets are in the house, that's probably right. You know, you're a millionaire on paper only.
Yeah, and you can't afford to move because nobody's going to buy it
That's true.
because of your neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
But well,
Yep.
I'm going to say,
Location.
now,
I
what
tell you, I never want to live in California ever again. I'd rather be dead.
Well, that's
And
always,
I don't know how to escape it because my pension comes from California. You know, I'm going to pay somewhere between $4,000 and $5,000 in state taxes this year. It is ridiculous. They have gone nuts.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh well, sucks to be me.
Yeah, you should have moved to Texas.
You
No
can't.
state tax.
I don't know if you know this or not, Leonard. California opened up offices in Austin, in Phoenix, Arizona, in Las Vegas, Nevada. And if you go into the Board of Equalization in California and you tell them that you moved, right?
Yeah.
They actually send an investigator to your house if you're living in one of those states
To make sure you actually did.
to make sure you were there.
Well, that's
So what-
okay though. You know,
You
you
just
go
moved
ahead
there
and
for a
move
few
there
months.
so you don't have any state income tax.
Yeah, but they're never going to let me because I earn the pension in California. I am forever glued to paying the taxes on that pension.
Yeah, because even if you moved out, they can say, "Hey, you earned that."
You earned it here and you bank here. You're here.
Well, yeah,
No,
you got to
it's
move your
in
bank
taxes.
too. You got to
Huh?
move your bank too.
I'm going to tell you how Indiana does it. Indiana, certain counties can tax, certain counties can't. Now, my home county of Vigo County does not tax income. Now, the ones that can't tax will probably never be able to tax because the residents of that county have to approve it. Okay.
Yeah.
So the counties that haven't done it probably are never going to approve it. It's that simple. But let's say you live in Vigo County and you work in a county that tax. Guess what they do?
What?
The county you work in that taxes, if your home county doesn't tax, they're taking the tax.
Yeah.
And if you work in a county that doesn't tax, that taxes, you live in a county that tax, you're all right. But you want to live, if you can, in the county, and you want to work and live in a county that doesn't tax, but you can always do that.
Well, that's true.
So sometimes what you got to look at is, all right, they're going to tax me because this is where I'm working and this county taxes.
Well, yeah, they tried to do that to us. They tried to do that to us. We were working for BP out of Texas, but we were in Kansas and South Carolina and
And
Illinois and all those places.
And they
And they
wanted to
tried to
tax.
make us pay taxes on all those states, but somehow they worked it around so we didn't have to.
Yeah. Well, they tried that with the ball players.
Yeah,
Because you know the ball players in Florida and in Texas, either one, they don't pay taxes on their income.
right.
There's no state tax. So some of it's like New York, some of these other places try to say, "Oh, well, you got to pay taxes for how many games did you play here? This is how many percentage of your season."
Yeah, they
This is how
didn't
much.
let them do that.
I know,
I
but that's
remember them trying that, but they didn't let them do it.
that's
I
probably
think I think Tim's right when he says that I shouldn't be complaining. But truth of the matter is, if I weren't paying those taxes, that would give me $4,000 or $5,000 extra dollars to donate to the local orphanage. Tim.
Well, not only that, that would increase your income by over $400 a month, almost.
They got me this year, but next year I'm going to figure out a way to game it.
Yeah, but like I said, let's say it's $4,000 a month. It's $5,000 a year. All right, that's at 400. That's 4,000. So just a little over $400 a month is what.
That's a
what
lot
you
of
would
dough.
get. Oh yeah, yeah.
Yep.
You
a
know how
lot
many
of
times?
dough that I could be donating to up and coming YouTubers.
Well, not
There
only
you
that.
go.
Think of the parties
A
you
lot,
can
a
throw.
lot, a lot more money available to spend on
Taiwan,
alcohol,
Dunkin' Donuts.
Dunkin' Donuts, and the Dunkin' coffee.
Yeah.
Thailand. Think about that. Thailand. You can go to Thailand a couple more times.
There you go. I could
Yeah.
be a world traveler. Oh wait, I already am a world traveler.
Well, see, Dan, you can donate that money to me, and I can get out of debt quicker and get.
I
out of
would
there.
if California
go.
would let me just keep it.
No, you wouldn't. Let's be honest, man.
I tried giving money away. Some people don't even want it. You know.
You
Okay.
didn't give it to me.
How's Christmas going? You know, how's Christmas? Well, I could adopt you, Leonard. But you'd be getting strange emails every day from me. But
That's
anyway,
okay. That don't mean I have to answer.
anything you want at all? Is there anything you need, or is everything okay? You need any money? You know?
Actually,
No, thanks, Dan. I'm good. Everything's going fine. You know. Oh my God! Well, I can't even give this stuff. I can't even give it away if I want.
Uh-huh. That's why he's not hiring me, Leonard. He knows I'd take it.
yep.
Dan, you got an extra $4,000.
Yeah. Well, you would, so you wouldn't get the whole $4,000, but I might kick you down $40. You know. And
That's a tank of gas, just about.
yeah, that will get you gas or half a tank of gas if you're living in California.
It depends on how empty. Right now, it's actually down close to where I work. It's only $3.39 a gallon.
Oh, don't say that too loudly, Larry. There are people that are paying $6 a gallon in California.
I know.
Well, you don't want to hear what we're paying.
We were paying over $4, almost $5 before.
You're making gasoline. You're taking gasoline out of the ground. And where you live, Leonard, why would gas be so dang expensive there?
Oh, because the oil companies dictate the price.
Well, not
we
only
still
that,
we're still paying like $2.69.
Wow. Should be
What?
free in the state of Texas.
They should pay us to take it.
I'm going to tell you the truth. A lot of the problem is they've shut down the refineries some. They don't let them remodel them. They're not letting them take new reserves and open up new reserves and take gas out. And they do
Larry,
all that. And they did all that, and they go over to the Arab countries and beg for oil. Now, how effed up is that?
Well, you know, honestly, you know, what I think is going on is if you think about it, you know, with all this change to electric and hydrogen cars, I mean, they're gas breath of air. I mean, the United States, I mean, we're kind of, in a way, you know, I'm not really, I don't have a comment about what's going on in the States right now as far as taking oil out of the ground, but an observation, it's more of an observation, and that is that, or critical thinking, you know, let them burn up their last drop first. That would be my suggestion.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go in some of those countries in the Middle East, I mean, they're moving as quickly as they can to change their economy over from being oil dependent over to being resorts and tourism oriented and medical tourism and all that other stuff. Well, why would they be doing that? Building indoor Aspen resorts and that sort of thing. I mean, you got to kind of have to think a little bit more critically about it. You know, they're Russia, for example, right? They survive on oil and gas. What happens if all of a sudden the world doesn't need it any longer? What would happen to their economy?
Well, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you the truth. I don't think electrical cars are going to be the salvation of the environment, because what produces electricity?
Well, that's what
Yeah.
they're trying to do is find other solutions.
Yeah, but I mean, until you do, right now, California says by a certain year, they're
2035, yeah.
yeah, you're not going to be able to buy oil cars. I don't even know if they're going to let you have them on the road. They can't even keep the electricity on now. They have rolling blackouts because of during the summer months because they don't have the right electrical grid, and they're worried
Yeah.
about this other. Get that straight, people.
Yeah.
Let's do this
But you
right.
know,
I'm not
but
saying
you know, Larry, go ahead, finish, Larry. I'm sorry.
I was going to say I'm not saying we don't need to change over, but I don't see where electricity is going to be it unless we come up with a power that can produce electricity without using what you're trying to say. We don't want that. We don't
Well,
want
now
to get.
you know they've just developed a fusion reactor that
What?
creates like 4 times as much power as it uses to make.
Yeah.
That was just announced the last few days.
Oh, cold fusion.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they say it's going to take another 10 years or more before that's even possibly going to be worth.
Well,
They make.
I mean, all this stuff, suspect because I mean, how can you move so quickly from a gas car to an electric car when you pass right by hybrid cars? I mean, it made perfectly good sense to me that to cut down on carbon, right? The way you would do it is it's a series of steps, right? Step A, get gas efficient automobiles. Step B, get an electric gas combination motor where the motor will recharge the batteries. Step 3, go to an electrical car and start working on hydrogen development. Step 4, and kind of you progress like that. But we only spent a few years in the hybrid stage. We only spent a couple of years. Everybody is in such a hurry to go electric, and as Larry pointed out,
that's because the hybrids were a joke. They weren't very efficient. They actually used too much fuel, and they didn't charge well. I mean, there's a lot needed to be done to fix them to make them work.
Now they do have a system where they take used cooking oil and stuff like that, and they've made fuel out of that for fleets.
But wait a minute.
Yeah.
Leonard, we're talking the same thing. What about the Camry? That Toyota Camry hybrid is one of the finest automobiles ever on this planet.
Well, I take it you must own a big chunk of Toyota stock.
No, but I mean that automobile, that thing ran forever, and not only that, became its own power plant. So when you had a brownout at your house, all you had to do was plug it into the car,
and it would do that with a Camry. The only only ones you've been able to do that with is the new Ford F-150s.
No, there are other vehicles you could do it with that come with that. I don't know if the Camry did or not. I was making that up.
The Camry didn't.
I think maybe the BMW does now.
It may.
Because I think I saw that advertised. Now it could have been the Ford F-150. But I've seen
the F-150 Lightning. You can run your house for days on it.
Right.
The biggest issue I have with electric cars is they do not have alternators in them. They can't charge your own batteries except when you brake. And that's a real poor system. And the batteries are too heavy.
It's wrecking you.
And they also cost a lot of money to replace.
Right.
They're
now,
awful.
Someone came out with a new battery that's much
David,
lighter.
David, I'm not so sure. I mean, I don't look at this issue as being,
Well, like I said, I do think there's a problem, but I think it's a bigger problem, or less of a problem, not as big as what the liberals want to say. But there is a problem. And I don't see any harm in trying to find something that we won't run out of.
Right.
Like
you were I'm sorry. You were talking about well, they don't have refinery capacity and all that. Okay, the oil companies have 9,000 leases that they refuse to drill on.
Well,
They,
some of
they,
those leases,
they refuse to drill on them because they don't have refinery capacity.
yeah.
That's because they refuse to reopen refineries they closed during COVID. If
Well,
they
yeah.
would just reopen those, then they wouldn't have the excuse for $100 oil.
Yeah, it has been said. David's making a comment. We aren't running out of oil. It has been said that that the Earth is kind of like a Tootsie Pop, right? Where you have a chewy. Yeah, it just keeps pumping out out oil.
They say there's enough oil to last for years. I mean,
I think I heard 300.
And I don't doubt that. I thought a long time ago when I was a kid, I used to have these. I still have weird thoughts, but when I was a kid, I used to think about this. I used to sit and I go, if somebody formed a tunnel company and they called it the Boring Company, and then you could send gas cars underneath in the tunnels, and then you could attach scrubbers that could completely eliminate, the bad stuff in there before it hit the atmosphere. I used to think about this stuff. I mean, that's a pretty wild idea. And then all of a sudden, you get a guy like Elon Musk comes along. He sets up a boring company, and they start doing test tunnels in Las Vegas. They start running Teslas through them. That's odd to me.
Yeah,
that's odd.
Well, go ahead, Dan.
It's cheap. Oil's cheap.
It's a lot cheaper than what they're charging us. But like I said, nitrogen would be a good alternative if they can. I don't know how practical it would be to run that forever. But nitrogen, what is the byproduct? Water?
You're talking about hydrogen.
Hydrogen, I mean.
Yeah. And Tesla.
Nitrogen wouldn't do us much good.
No, but I'm just saying, its byproduct is water.
Well, there have been stories about guys who ran their cars on water, but information about how to do it got bought up by the oil companies and buried.
That Tucker I think his name was Tucker. He made a car back in the 30s or 40s.
There was one called Tucker.
Yeah, he had a system where they got back then. He got like 30, 40 miles per gallon. And like I said, that's back then. If they would have kept that and expanded on it, think what we'd be getting today. But there again, the car companies our oil companies bought him out.
Yep.
And shut that down.
Yep. I know you're old enough. You remember seeing all these ads for 100 mile per gallon carburetors and all this stuff. But
like I said, that was probably based on Tucker, but these other people bought it out and killed it.
Yep.
Ed, did I miss something? He was a civil servant. I wouldn't admit that to anybody, Ed. I get hate mail. For that.
Yeah.
I go down to Dunkin' Donuts, and then they go, there's the government coming in.
And I don't drop acid. I chew on a weed. It's called a wildwood weed. And me and my brother started chewing on it, and I kind of passed out and woke up, and I looked around for my brother. Couldn't find him. I found him on top of a windmill. I asked him how he got up there. He said he flew up there. I had to fly up there and get him back and help get him down. He's about half crazy.
Yeah.
That's a song, by the way, Dan. That was a song called The Wild.
It sounded familiar.
Yeah, I mean, here you are driving along, minding your own business, when all of a sudden you get a lithium battery that decides to explode under your seat.
Yeah.
As David F.P. points out, oh, damn, that might be enough to ruin your day.
Yeah.
What's wrong, Dan? My ass is on fire. Oh my
Yep.
goodness.
And
Oh.
I
You,
know,
you got to read the Tesla contract very carefully. If your ass catches on fire, be responsible for the medical.
Yeah.
talking about ass catching on fire. I used to ride a old Honda 754. Now the 4 was spelled out FOUR. It was one of the first 4-cylinders.
Right.
They made them
I
for 3
remember
years.
those.
I think they made them for 3. There was 3 years, and I believe it was 73, 74, and 75. I had a 74 754 where the wiring went bad on it. So I paid somebody else to fix the wiring. It's not that hard, I guess. But the thing is, if the bike caught on fire, my ass got burnt, I wanted somebody to yell at. And if I did it, who the hell am I yelling at? Because
Yep.
I'm not an electrician, man. So I paid somebody else to do that. Like, no. And I took it to a guy that specialized in Hondas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I rode that bike for years. It was a 754. They made a 554 as well. I didn't know that, but they did.
Yeah.
And because I got mine, it was in '86. And when I bought my bike, so I didn't buy it.
Thank you, Ed. Checks in the mail, and you know the rest. Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, but so like I said though, I'm not against finding alternatives to electric.
Yeah, but Leonard may know something about this. I mean, he's saying that the hybrid models are no good. So I mean, I respect that.
No, like I said,
You must have some experience with that.
Well,
Anyway.
just what I've read and heard.
I'm not saying that, Dan. I'm saying there's other alternatives, and it doesn't have to be in the cars.
Yeah, it's called don't drive, walk,
No,
Yeah.
ride your bicycle,
no,
ride your electric motorcycle,
no,
ride your 3-wheeler. Don't you got a 3-wheeler, Larry?
no. Dan, I
one.
live where it's cold. None of those.
I
things
feel
are
bad
working.
because Ma'am, Minnie, and I, we've been thinking about going out there and buying one of them multi-cab things, one of them 3-wheeler multi-cab things, you know,
Yeah.
or bikes
Or
or
a-
whatever they are, right?
Or a tuk like what
Yeah, yeah,
Bud Brown has. Or
Yeah.
he just sold his.
yeah.
But,
You know,
there's-
I don't know. I haven't watched much of Bud Brown until lately. You know how he's talking about moving to Mexico, but
right.
I got to tell you, I keep looking online. Would I live in Mexico, and how much would it cost me? And I'm telling you, I might as well stay in the United States if I'm going down to Mexico. I mean, it's
Well, yeah.
expensive to live
Well,
down
I
there.
was
now.
somebody made a comment about he hasn't been there for a while, and he's
Yeah.
seriously disappointed.
He will be. I'm telling you, it costs money to live there.
Well, the reason why they're going, and the way he was talking, I watched his video the other day. His wife Gloria wants to go back and be near the family.
Right, near the kids, the
Yeah.
daughter, or whatever.
Well, they got a daughter and son that live back in California, and that's where their 2 grandkids are at. His daughter's got.
Well, do they have a basement? Does their family have a basement?
I don't know. I'm just
Do
saying.
they have a room that they can convert into an in-law apartment? You know, the laws have changed in California.
Yeah,
You
just
can
build
now
an
build
apartment
an
over the
in-law
garage.
apartment in your backyard. I don't have to go down.
But
If
I'm
I
just saying,
want, I could put up a few piñatas and some, things to make it look like Mexico.
but I'm just saying that the way he was talking, and I know before he mentioned that they wanted to be closer to the kids
Yeah.
and grandkids.
Well,
Yeah,
he
well,
lived
I
in
know
he
that-
lived in Mexico before he
lived-
went to Philippines.
Yeah,
Yeah, when rents were comparable to what they charge in the Philippines. Way back in the day when I was a kid growing up, and we'd make those runs down to the relative's house in one of the southern Mexican states.
Yeah,
I mean, the thing is that it isn't the same any longer. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Well,
Right.
You know
You
how
need to he needs to go down there and check it out first. If it were me, I would figure out a way to rent a room in my kid's house.
But you know how we were talking earlier about how hard it is to keep up with all the people we follow now.
Right.
Bud Brown's going to be one that I'm going to cut out. Once he leaves the Philippines, I'm done.
Well, you know,
You
he
know,
said,
I have no interest in California. I like Bud. I like his videos, but it's going to be about stuff I'm not interested in. You know,
yeah.
I'm not interested in moving to Mexico, and I sure in the hell ain't interested in moving to California.
But Tim, he's
Right.
pointing out what I've been saying, guys. There's an Eastern and Western clash coming, and Tim knows this because he lives here like we do.
Right.
It's horrible here. It's like being in the West, being anywhere in the United States. I'm telling you, you gotta believe me. I'm boots on the ground. Anybody that did you see how I did that? I stole Sunshine Shoulders tagline.
Yeah.
I don't.
I'm
I
here.
don't
Listen,
Everybody's been
your
doing that
your
lately.
YouTube channels are doing great because they sell the dream, they sell the fantasy. But guys, that fantasy is turning into a nightmare right before our very eyes. I hate to tell you this, but
Hey,
it
hello,
ain't
RJ.
like it was. It ain't like it was.
Well, I agree with you. It's really like Leonard said earlier. It's going to be location, location, location. We're not going to be able to go and live on let's say on the cheaper side if there's a lot of expats in that area. Not going to happen.
No, because they drive the product.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yep.
But there are expats everywhere. This is the point that I'm trying to make. Here in this small little teeny tiny province that
There's
we're living in,
There's a lot.
They
of
are
places to go
everywhere. They pack the Dunkin' Donuts every morning. They pack it.
There's a lot of places.
Well,
that
that's
don't
your
have it.
fault, Dan.
That's
Oh.
the vloggers there's fault.
Well, that's
Well,
probably true.
Dan's advertised it so much, though.
No, but they were. I'm the newcomer. I'm the new guy on the
He's
block.
just-
Those guys have been-
okay.
yeah,
He's
they've
just the
been
one
there
we
for
know.
years. I go in there and I know these guys. I've been coming there for for 20 some odd years. I know these guys. I know these guys from previous journeys to the Philippines, to Bye Bye City.
Give me a moment. RJCP, type in LLL, and my Nightbot will drop your link. Okay, just LLL, and it'll drop your link for you. Okay. And Dan went down. Hopefully he'll come back up.
Well, we dropped him, that's for sure.
I didn't drop him, so he dropped himself.
Well, I mean, he dropped.
Yeah, I heard Minnie in the background, so she probably needed him for something.
Yeah, probably so.
But yeah, Ed, that's true. Skin tax as well. That's why
Yeah.
if you're married to a Filipina, and Dan's misfortune here, everybody knows he's married to a Filipina, and they know who she is.
Yeah.
But if you're in one of the larger areas, don't walk around with her. Let her go shopping. You go somewhere else.
And if you're not married to one,
Get a
if
friend.
you're not married to a Filipina, have a housekeeper or something.
Yeah,
Even
like
if she
that.
just comes in a couple times a week.
She
she'll
can
run
still do
your
your
errands
shopping.
for you.
Yeah, she can do your. You pay her a few bucks. It saves you the trouble running the errands, and it won't cost you any more than if you went yourself.
Right. And she'll also stand in line for you for hours.
Yeah, RJ, I know you're a Filipina, but if you got a channel, put in LLL, and my Nightbot will drop your link. So if anybody wants to watch your videos and stuff, they'll be able to watch and see what you do, and they can decide whether or not they want to join your channel. I can't.
Yeah, I just subscribed to her actually.
RJ.
Yeah.
Well, you have a jacket, so you can do it without some of the people.
Hey guys, Minnie's getting real frustrated, and I could see why. There's a line on gate.
What's
It's-
going on?
It's
Carol,
scary, huh? Yeah,
Carol?
they're all forming at the front gate. She's coming in here very frustrated, saying,
just give her a pocket full of coins and she can go take care of it.
"Well, see, if we had coins,
Oh,
didn't think ahead, and so."
Ed, you're the one who stole my wife. And then I goes, I thought Dan was married. Oh, you thought Dan's the one who took my wife, Dad.
Oh my gosh! How did he know? How did he know about the blue avatar girl?
Yeah, but they're 10 feet tall.
So I like them tall.
That might be good.
Oh my
Well,
goodness!
I like them short. So,
I
well,
do too.
actually, I've dated girls from 4'9" to 6'5".
The
So-
shortest girl I dated was 4'10". She was Filipina, and the tallest girl I dated was 5'10". She was Caucasian,
Yeah.
and average height, probably if I had to pick an average height, was probably around 5'3", maybe 5'4",
Yeah.
somewhere in there.
Stop complaining and start climbing, Leonard and Larry.
Well, like I say, I have dated a 6'5" tall woman.
Beautiful.
Like I said, 5'10" is the
She
tallest I've
was.
dated.
Yep.
And
She was actually. She was beautiful.
but like I said, the shortest was 4'10". She was a Filipina. This is when I was still in the Navy, when I was in San Diego, California. And back then, I thought she run the relationship. And as I look back on my my drunk days, but soberly look back, I realized, nah, I was the problem. And the farther I got away from that time frame, the more because at first it was I figured out she was 90% the problem. Then it's like, no, it's probably 30%. And then it's like, nah, I'm 95% of the problem.
Well, you know, if you're drinking a lot and
Well, she worked at the bar that I went to.
okay.
And if I started to get up because I was broke, she'd set a beer down in front of me to keep me there. There
Yeah.
you go. You're not going anywhere.
Yeah, woman after your own heart there,
There you
Larry.
go.
Oh, yeah. Well, she was afraid I'd be after somebody else's heart.
Yeah. Well, hello, RJ. Nice to meet you.
What's up, RJCP?
And Marianne's back. How you doing, Marianne?
Marianne.
Ah, Marianne.
Marianne, yeah, she's back. Now, Marianne, drop the L's again. Drop 3 L's. And RJ, I go ahead and drop LLL. And my Nightbot will drop your link. Boy, I'm going to tell you, Ed, that would be a sexual assault. And because now she is rich enough for me. I guess I wouldn't complain too much as long as she paid me off.
Yeah. Well, you got to remember those WNBA players don't make anywhere near the money the
That's
NBA
all right.
players do.
They make a lot more money than I make.
They probably have 10 times the headaches that you got too, Larry.
Well, especially Brittany Gardner. She was the one that was in the Russian prison. 'Cause she
Yeah,
said-
that whole thing was very
That's
sneaky.
that was her.
Straight to high heaven.
You know what's weird about that?
It was her problem.
Yeah, let her rot in prison, you know? That's where I'm at with it.
I don't mind they got her out. I do mind how they got her out. They had a Marine that's been there for a while, and they gave up that arms dealer for her. I could see
Russia
them giving up.
Russia wouldn't take the arms dealer for the Marine.
Right.
Donald Trump said they offered to take the arms dealer for the Marine when he was president.
Well, yeah, but you can't believe anything he says.
Well,
This is all just political play. He's trying to run it again. Hey, don't cut those fingers off.
Be careful,
Sorry
there,
about
Dad.
that.
Don't hurt yourself.
We
Yeah.
don't want to see. We don't want to see you shedding blood over there.
Almost did.
I
was looking around for the AC remote control, but I can't find it.
Okay.
Yeah, Minnie hid it from you.
Yeah, Mimi said, "You suffer, buddy, suffer."
I got to deal with these guys at the gate. You got to deal with the heat.
Yeah, suffer. No, but I'm going to tell you something. I'm not real impressed with Joe, and I really went downhill with the way they withdrew from Afghanistan.
Well, that wasn't planned as well as it should have been. That's for sure.
Nowhere near. You could have flew a bunch of pilots in, and they could have flew those planes home.
Yep.
They left all those planes and all that other stuff behind. And don't tell them when you're leaving. Just say, all
They're
right.
going to turn them into. They're going to turn everything into jeepneys.
I doubt if they have the. I'm trying to think of the correct term here. The ingenuity of the Filipino people.
Oh, absolutely not.
I mean, the Filipino people will probably take those jets and turn them into jeepneys. I don't believe they can.
No.
And the ones that didn't turn into jeepneys, they'd probably make them better jets.
Can you see a tank, going down the road with the passengers?
Well,
Okay.
they would just put a trailer behind it.
They put a trailer behind it to haul it. There you go.
Oh yeah.
All the people around.
I don't forget though, if it's a tank, they're going to be piled on top as well.
Oh yeah,
That's true.
And
hanging on. The,
RJ,
hanging on
welcome.
the-
RJ is our
Yeah.
Filipino who's working in Saudi Arabia. So welcome. It's not
RJ would be a good person to talk to about how are getting because, RJ probably has to send, more money home than ever before in order to pay the electric bills are going crazy here. The food bills are going nuts here.
That's what I hear about more is the food than anything.
The whole place is out of control. It's out of control. I'm gonna have to go with Bud Brown and move to Mexico.
No, you won't.
I hope not. I hope it doesn't come to that.
Yeah.
Dan, you're not that silly, okay?
Oh, it's terrifying what's going on here.
Yeah,
You-
but
you-
what Bud Brown said was that they were going to go and check it out and see how, maybe stay there a month and see how it was. And if it wasn't like he remembered, he was going to leave and come back to the Philippines.
Oh, if he's okay living on some Hopi Indian reservation down there, he's probably going to be okay.
Yeah.
They got caves down there. They got abandoned caves that he could live in.
That sounds cool. That sounds cool.
Yeah.
Get some of those solar panels to run my stuff.
Just got to get
You can
you got to get the
to his
snakes out
environment.
first.
You have to
Yeah,
actually go
wireless.
further south. See, the whole thing is you have to go further south if you want to relive that experience. That's all I'm saying. I was really surprised. I was surprised over the whole thing.
Yep.
I said he didn't know. And if you look at the comments, people are trying to tell him. And then all he does is go on Old Dog and talk about, I've lived there before. It's going to be fine.
Yeah, but it was what, 20 years ago?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
It ain't.
build a
It's not your
small
grandpa's Mexico anymore.
in-law apartment behind your kid's house, and you're going to be way better off.
Yep.
Oh, I'll tell you. When I finally do retire, like I said, I would like to go to the Philippines. Let's be honest about it. But that doesn't mean I can afford to go.
Yep.
But I'm going to tell you the truth. It's not going to. You can't scare me off with the cost there in the Philippines when you look at New York State
Yeah.
or California.
Or North
Or
California.
Texas.
There's a long way to go. Of course, listen, hey, what I'm talking about is I'm talking about the real money that it takes to live it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Right. Right.
I'm not, all of a sudden, right? So you guys remember that they were selling this, you can move to the Philippines for $500,
Yeah.
Now it's a few months later, they're like, you can do it on $800 a month.
I recently saw a guy do a cost of living video, and he was living on $500 a month, but
Right. Oh yeah, I saw
he was
something
only
like
paying like $60 a month rent.
that. Right.
Well, all right. If you watch, as y'all know, I do, Steve Johnson at Filipino Info
yeah.
Channel. There's apartments around him that are only $70 a month, unfurnished, and they're in,
Yeah.
some of them are really nice. Now they're small,
The one he lives in, I think he's paying 80.
yeah, but it's a little bigger than some of them.
Yeah.
The one his daughter's living in is 60, and
Right.
he showed some that were like 70 or 100. And the 100 one was new,
Yeah.
and it was gorgeous. And
Ed is making a good point too. When you're done there, he's talking about. I got to tell you, Cape Town is in the top 4 or 5 for cheapest places to live that are English speaking.
Oh yeah, I was not aware of that.
I'm sorry. There's some places I'm just not going, and Africa's one of them. Cape Town, is it not in Africa? Cape Town, Africa, you're talking about?
Yeah, but
think
you're-
that's South Africa.
Hey, look at it this way: you're close to Antarctica. Something happens, you know.
I'm not going there. I'm not going to any of the Arab countries to live. I'm sorry, I'm not doing it.
No.
And some of those are
Well,
cheaper to live in.
I'd just like to, I know this is none of my videos are popular, and this wouldn't be either. But I would do a video on how people are moving in together, sharing the rent. That's what's going on here in the Philippines now.
Oh,
We're already there. We're already there. You're having multi-generational housing taken off like crazy.
But I'm going to tell you the truth, Dan. That's been a common thing for Asian families for years.
Well,
And Mexican.
And people are seeing the need. And so if you guys go in there, you watch some of the channels, especially Retired and Happy in the Philippines, where they're building the guest house. There's a reason why they're doing it, and that is because they see the need. They've identified the need, and so they're jumping on. They're going to make on putting as many bunk beds and 3-level beds in the guest house as they possibly can. Cram as many people in there as you can. That's safe. I'm not saying it's all about the money, but they definitely have identified the need and they're jumping on it. See, they don't talk to you about the reason why they decide to do this. It's because they see the shift, the cultural shift occurring. They see the economic shift occurring. They see the Western influence in the Philippines. And because they've lived both places, they know how to attack it and survive. But yes, I agree with you, Larry. You're speaking the truth. It has existed for eons all over the world, but now they're making it into a fine science.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But like I said, my friend who's Chinese, her mom lives with her. And they had their own place for a while, but things got a little tight.
Yes.
Her dad lived with when they first came over, and I mean for a few years. Her parents lived with her and her husband.
Capsule motels are becoming the rage, as Ed's pointing out. Human storage. Well, Ed, I'm a simple man. I just need a capsule to sleep in. I'm a simple man. Just give me a capsule to sleep in and a 55-inch TV set. I'm good to go.
Yep.
Hey, Danny, welcome, man. Merry Christmas. Danny, the road to the Philippines is here, guys.
Hey, how you doing, Danny?
And RJ's CP, it's good to see that you're working hard to help raise your kids, even though you're not there.
Yeah.
You're making the money to help provide for their needs. RJ says she's a single mom with 4 kids. She's working in Saudi Arabia. So, she's sending most of her money back for her kids.
Yep.
And like I said, that is an Asian thing.
That being said, what I just said, the other amazing thing is, and it's probably a contradiction to that, they're packing the Jollibee. This has got to be here in Bye City Lake, the busiest Jollibee in the entire world. They start lining up out the door around 10 a.m. in the morning, and some days they wrap the building.
I'm going to tell you the truth, and it's the same thing here in the States. And
Tell me lies, Larry. I want to hear lies.
and you'll be able to tell that I've partaken in this mistake, and I still do, is eating so much junk food.
Yeah.
and Jollibee's is contributing to the overweight population of the Philippines. Here in the States, it was McDonald's, then Burger King, and Wendy's and all that stuff. All these fast food places, and then junk places. We got to where we like the stuff and we overeat. And
well, it is, and we got to where we liked it. They're spiking that stuff with extra sugar and things to make it addictive.
Yeah, they wrap the building in Filipinos and Filipinas.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
yeah, it's quite the Christmas package. You know what I should do is I'm afraid to do it. I don't want the Jollibee mafia attacking me, but I should take a picture of this. But see, I can't do it without telling the whole story, and I'm too politically incorrect for the Philippines.
Well, the thing about it is, if you take a picture of them being that busy, it'll just
They
make
will
them more
they will kick me out of the country.
Nah,
They will
it's free
anti
advertisement.
Jollibee.
Nah, it's free advertisement.
yeah.
That being said, I was there Friday.
Yeah, see?
Had the spicy chicken. I had the delicious spicy joy, my favorite.
I'm going to be honest. I don't go to the fast food places as much as I used to. And that really started because of the pandemic, because you couldn't go. And when they did open up, I started going, but not like I did before. I used to go to Denny's just to get a cup of coffee, and then sometimes you get a piece of pie. Or
Hey, they have Denny's here now. I don't know if you know that, Larry, but you can find Denny's here.
I know they got a Denny's in Cebu because Chris talked about it.
Yeah, they also have a they have a Denny's in Manila too, Mall of the place.
But when I was
We're
living
at
up,
every street corner now, Larry, in
when I
the
was
Philippines.
like I said, when I was living in Leroy, the Denny's in Batavia, which is only like 8 miles from where I live. Well, actually, from my house to the Denny's itself might have been 10. But that was nothing to run in and get a cup of coffee, just get out of the house. And then when you're there, you flirt with it. I'm from the old school. My daddy did it. My grandpappy did it. All my uncles did it. We flirt with waitresses,
That's our job, isn't it?
Yeah. My
Country
job as a
Western
customer.
song right there.
Yeah. It's our job as a customer to flirt with the waitress. And then you leave her a tip
Yeah.
for not beating you up. I mean, come on. But and some of them I knew pretty good, and I go in and talk with them and I have a cup of coffee. And
You devil, you, Larry.
once in a while get an ice cream sundae or like I said a caramel apple pie a la mode.
Oh yeah, delicious.
Oh yeah.
You're a good-looking man, Larry. You're a good-looking man. Why wouldn't a waitress want to go with you after serving you a huge dish of caramel apple pie with vanilla ice cream topped with chocolate sauce?
I don't know, just the caramel, no chocolate sauce. Don't ruin my apple pie. But like I said, I get one of those probably once a week, or at least every other week. And then, like I said, because of the pandemic, it started becoming like maybe once a month. So I didn't cut down on my own originally, but I stayed cut down.
Yeah.
But I still ate too much pizza. I had pizza almost once a week. Actually,
Well,
twice.
that was my one junk food was pizza. I
Actually,
cut out all the
Shaky.
Yeah.
Born in Sacramento on J Street.
Never had a Shakey's.
Shakey's Pizza all over the Philippines.
Like I said, I'd order a pizza, and I usually ordered it large enough that I could have my supper and the next day have my lunch.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
Found Johnson, by the way. They didn't call him Shaky for nothing.
withdrawals, man. Come on.
Yes,
man.
what was I'm doing in the Philippines? Answer me that. Answer that question for me.
I didn't hear it. What was it?
What was Shaky Johnson doing in the Philippines in the first place that it became the #1 pizza chain in the Philippines? He was making friends and making money along the way, apparently.
Oh yeah, they had to do something like that.
Yeah.
But
Ed said he made his money the old-fashioned way. Earned it.
The
No, he didn't
old-fashioned
put
way.
that part
I
in
got.
there.
I earned it. Yeah, that's the ticket. I earned the money.
I made my money the old-fashioned way. I get the printer in the back.
Yes, the good old days of counterfeiting.
Yep.
Ed said his grandma had palsy. We called her Shaky.
Oh, by the way, I tried to use that joke. Last trip we were in Jomtien Beach. I was going to the money changer, and she kept looking at my $100 bill and turning it upside down and sideways and this way and that way and doing this test and that test. And then I'm like, ma'am, what is there a problem with the bill? I said I printed it fresh this morning. And then she hands it back to me and she says, to the bank, and she points down the street to the.
Yeah.
I'm done with you. I'm not taking this money. It's counterfeit. You just admitted it was counterfeit. Go down to the bank.
And the thing is also, she may not have had to change for it.
Yeah.
Oh, it was very funny.
Yeah.
But
It
there,
didn't look right to her. This bill don't look right to me.
Ed said he made his money the old-fashioned way. He inherited it.
That's the way to do it. Money is good money. It spins the same. Spins even better.
I got a question for you. Now, do you remember the comics, Calvin and Hobbes?
yeah.
Dad, do you remember Calvin and Hobbes, the comic?
Oh yeah.
All right. He told his dad he wanted to be a millionaire, and his dad told him he was going to have to start studying and doing all this. He says, "Oh no," he goes, "I'm going to inherit it from you." He wants his dad to work hard and make all that money.
Yeah. Ed, for
That's
crying
how
out loud.
most of the millionaires got there.
They called him Shaky because he had an enlarged prostate, Ed. They called him Shaky Johnson. Get it? He had prostate. Shaky Johnson.
He's always shaking his Johnson.
He was always shaking it. He had nothing to be ashamed of. He had nothing to be ashamed of.
No, it was his Johnson.
That's right.
He wasn't checking somebody else's.
Well, that we know of, anyway.
Shaky. I warned you more than once. Do not shake your Johnson in public.
Hey, Ann, Merry Christmas. Welcome. Ann's here, Dad.
Crystals is here. What took you so long, Crystals?
Come on, it's
How are you,
Christmas Day.
Crystals?
She had a family to take care of. Like I said, I'm just happy as many people showed up from the Philippines that showed up and from other countries.
Yeah.
I figured mostly would be us Northern Americanos, and that'd be about it.
Yeah. Oh, you got a lot of Filipinos in here.
Oh, Ed's so funny. They call him the baker because he bakes the fresh counterfeit bills in the morning. Oh, my goodness. Ed, you're killing me this morning. Killing me. Oh, there it is.
I guess maybe I'll be the cleaner because I'll laundry that money.
The launderer. We're taking this. Yeah, we're taking the fresh baked goods down to the laundry.
Yeah. That's all right, Crystal. Like I said, and I really wasn't expecting you to show up. I'm glad you did. But she said they just arrived because they picked some fresh veggies down at the farm.
Ah, great.
Like I said,
Great.
I knew with Christmas Day, and you'd be spending a lot of time with your family,
Yep.
which is expected. This is Christmas Eve here, and my family's a few hours away, the closest. That's my oldest sister and her family, and I'm working on Christmas Day 12 hours. And it is going to be a very boring day till towards the end of my shift.
But you get that extra money though. You get that extra.
Yeah, I get a little extra for working on Christmas. I do, But I don't expect anybody to even be there besides me till about 3 o'clock. So about the last 4 hours, I'll have some people in the building besides me. Today, nobody.
Santa might pay you a visit.
Who?
Santa.
Uh-huh. Why would he pay me a visit?
I don't know.
I'm on the naughty list.
He's got a lump of coal for you.
Crystals. I don't mean to out you. But I heard that you're cleaning up in those online games. Is it true? I keep hearing Crystals is, oh, Crystals won again. Oh, Crystals won again.
She has.
And then everything's always so nice. Congratulations to Crystals. Congratulations to the winners. Everybody's always so nice. But we know when the show is over, they're like, Crystals won again.
Merry Christmas, Ann.
Now, Ann, I want to tell you something. Not only Merry Christmas to you, but also to your sister and both your families. You said if you're still at your sister's home. I hope you guys are all having a great time celebrating together. Christmas is a good time to spend with family, but like I said, my oldest sister is about 3.5 to 4 hours away from me, and my mom and them are about 10 to 12 hours from me. So, and I got to work 12 hours, so I'm not spending Christmas with anybody. Now, my friend that I watched the rabbit for wants me to come by her house after I get off work tomorrow and have she'll give me Christmas dinner. This is a friend, like I said, that I've known for many, many years, and we're just good friends. She helps me out occasionally, and I'll help her out occasionally. We've known each other. Her dad used to call me his white son. They're Chinese. They're from China. And I've known them I've known her and her dad passed away last year. And I knew him for over 30 years before he passed, and I've known her longer. And so I've known her for almost, oh my God, how long now? 35 years. And I knew him for about 32 years when he passed. And wow. I know her mother, I know her brother, her sister-in-law.
And you're an amazing guy. I can't keep a single friend for more than a day. Wonder why that is. Hey.
Look in the mirror, buddy.
Well, hey, Tim is saying that Santa Claus is checking you out to succeed him. But I was just saying, Burl Ives already tapped you. So you're Burl Ives replacement.
Well, Burl Ives played Santa in one of those cartoons.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really? Yeah, that's right. I'd forgotten about that.
He did the voice. I believe it was the voice of Santa, and not the snowman.
Yeah, I think so.
And Crystal's answered me. Did you see down there? She said, "Ha ha." She won 2K and all.
Yeah,
not bad. Not a bad haul there, Crystals. No. Not a bad haul. Congratulations to you.
Congratulations, Crystal. Can I borrow $1,000?
I mean, 2K is 2K.
That's Gcash.
Gcash, yeah. Did anybody flake? Did anybody pay you? We'll send Larry over there to have a little talk with them.
I'd go, but it costs more than $2,000 to get me there.
I got to tell you, I was so nervous when I did my cash giveaway that I doled the money out right away, like ASAP. Because I realized, oh my gosh, I don't want to get it. I got hate mail anyway. Just want to say. Even though right after the contest, I sent the money out quickly. But anyway, I did the best I could.
Yeah, you did.
I'm gonna have to renew. I just looked at my passport. I'm gonna have to renew that this next year. It expires in September.
Yeah.
So.
I got to go, baby. Man, Minnie has 9. Yes. Hey, this could be, God forbid, my final pass. God forbid.
Your final what?
My last passport of my life.
I would keep it up, Dan, just in case you want to go back.
Hey, you know something? in the end, in the very end, they could just toss the bad boy in there, right alongside me. I won't be needing anymore where I'm going. I'm making the ultimate journey. I'll just toss it in there.
Oh, I agree with you, but I'm just saying, though, I would keep a passport because if I go there, I'm going to be honest with you. If I go there to live, I would want to get the SRV, the military,
Mhm.
Oh, absolutely.
because it'd be so much cheaper for me, which means I could stay there forever.
Hey,
Right.
you guys in the chat, and you knew this, and I'm going to tell you something. I have a confession to make. Know this. When you come in on the Balik Bayan visa, you can stay for a year without the clearance to leave.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I didn't know until one of you mentioned it in one of your lives saying something about it. Then I checked it out. I went to Jennifer Terry's channel and I went to the embassy to check it out. And it says, yeah, if you come in on the Balik Bayan visa, you don't need to go get the clearance in order to leave the country. You can stay the entire year. As long as you leave before the 1 year expiration date, then you can, yeah.
And then if
You
you
can
come
take
back,
off.
you come
And then
back
you
in
come
with
back and start all over again.
yeah. I was gonna say you come back in with Minnie. Now Minnie's got to be with you when you come back in,
Right.
and then you start that year all over.
Yeah. By the way, that you hit a key point there, Larry. A key point. You know, the reason why Minnie is going with me to Thailand. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, I hope she doesn't watch this. I hope she doesn't watch this, but you know she will. You know she will.
Just to see what you said.
Just to see what I said. Yeah.
But yeah, because there's a couple vloggers that I followed. I want to say Chris and Cebu even talked about it, but there was a couple others that talked about, that when they go out, the wife had to be with them when they came back in. It might not have been Chris. I can't remember for sure, but there's a couple others that were married, that took advantage of that. And,
Edsing, I may need the passport for the afterlife. Yeah. Yes. You get a. There you go.
Mackie. Hey, Mackie. Welcome to the channel. You're watching from Manila, so welcome. If you have if you have anybody in here that I haven't told yet, if you have a channel, type in LLL, and my Nightbot will drop your channel for you. All right. So anybody that wants to do that, go right ahead, and you're more than welcome. And if any of you want to come up and give Dan or Leonard or myself a hard time, or just bull with us a little bit, come on up.
Yes, do it. You're welcome.
Yeah, you bet.
Do it.
Very well.
Mackie TV. Hey, man, Meanie and I, we're headed for Manila. We're going to be there soon. We're going to be staying at the Manila Bay, not the Manila Bay. We're going to be near Manila Bay. But if you're anywhere near there, stop by and say hello. We'll be at the Starbucks. It's across from the USM. It's right there close across the way. That's where you'll find us.
I know where to find you when I come, Dan.
Yeah.
I know right where to look for you, buddy.
Yeah.
It's called Dunkin' Donuts in Bye Bye City.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's where people come to find me. All right. We've missed Mel and Des the last couple of times. They come by to say hello, and I wasn't there. I wasn't where I was supposed to be.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
You'll get in trouble doing that.
That's right.
Yeah. Des and Mel. You don't want to cross Des or Mel.
No.
No.
Not
Can't
those
break-
two.
Hey, Ed, Dan was saying he saw Chris's resume online, so we're thinking maybe he got a job.
Yeah, he was putting together. I don't know what it was exactly I was looking at, but it was like a resume, and he was announcing the time and how much what his rate is. And so I'm not sure if it was a site for independent contractors that want to do online work. It might have been that.
Yeah,
So maybe Chris is working.
Have you ever watched? I'm trying to think of his name. He's in Dumaguete. Not Amazing Philippines. That's he's in Cebu. Philip, can't think of it. But he's married to a Filipino, and have one child and got another one on the way.
We
That's
won't
what
hold that against him that he's married to a Filipina.
But what I'm saying is, though, he came over was single, and but he was doing online work,
Mhm.
so he gets paid in U.S. dollars and works in the Philippines.
Sweet deal.
And but he's I think a content writer or something like that. And Ned is his name, but I'm trying to remember his channel
Hey,
name.
that brings up an interesting thought, though. You know, Larry, when you talk about online work. So, our last trip to Thailand, me being the keen observer of the human condition, so I was looking to see. Okay, so prior to the great pandemic, right? You had all these digital nomads were everywhere. You can't even get into a coffee shop because the whole thing was packed with people banging away on their computers, you know, while they're sipping on their cup of coffee. So they're doing all kinds of work. Some of them were YouTubers, some were online workers, all of that. And this is primarily, I saw this in Chiang Mai.
I would say that was from,
Yeah. And so I go there, nothing. All the coffee shops are shut down. I don't see anybody hanging around. It was days before we saw our first foreigner, and that was only what, 4 or 5 months ago. But now on me, I'm getting emails where friends are there, and they're saying everything is opened up, everybody is back. It's starting to get more and more crowded. You're getting more crowded people, and then also. Well, anyway, in any event, you know, so that was the first clue that I got that things had really changed, you know.
Well, when they first started shutting everything down, I can't remember who it was. There was somebody I want to say they were in Thailand, and there was a lot of empty, you know, condos and stuff, and they were, you know, going around and getting offered real good deals.
Oh, they were cheap. I got a place for $10 a night. It was crazy.
Yeah, but they were locking it down for a year or more at a real good price, you know.
But
Because
if you had a solid online job, where did the job go? Why did you have to leave? That's the point I was trying to make. Is that if you have an online job and you were putting all your eggs in that basket, you know, what happened to the revenue stream that you weren't able to maintain living in Chiang Mai or Bangkok or anywhere else doing the online work?
well, they might have left because in the restrictions on visas there, you got to leave quite a bit, unless they changed it during the pandemic. You had to leave once every month or once every 3 months. You had to leave.
I think it was every 3 months, but I'm not sure.
But it was 1 to 3 months, and you got to pay to do it. Then you had to go out of the country and come back in. Well, if you went out of the country, they might not have let you back in because of the pandemic.
That was the situation then, yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing in the Philippines. If you left because your 36 months was up, you weren't coming back in for a long time. Now,
By the way, you get a 45-day on arrival in Thailand, although we're not going to stay that long. 45 days passport upon arrival.
Yeah,
until March, through March or May or something like that.
I think they just changed that here when Paul Old Dog was over there. He mentioned.
Oh
that.
yeah, he mentioned that he got an extra 15 days.
Yeah, because it was only 30. Now, like I said, after you've been there a while, they might have let you stay longer. But your first time, you could only stay 30 days originally.
Originally, yeah, but they changed that to 45 days now.
Yeah, but see, I haven't followed for a while.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, the Philippines did, right?
No, the Philippines.
60 days now, right? Ed, you're burning the place down with your comments, my friend.
You're doing a good job. Ed, you're doing a good job as an online firefighter. You're getting the fires going, buddy. That's how you put them out. You get them going, then you put them out.
Exactly.
Yeah. But
yeah, so isn't the Philippines now 60 days upon arrival?
I think it's 30 days, and you can get. and then you can ask for an extra 30 at the airport, or at the go straight to somewhere and ask for another 30.
That's the way I understand it.
I think you get it right there, and they say sometimes, depending on the people, you can get to 60 at the airport, but you get the 30 at the airport.
Oh my gosh!
And then you go to.
I think you guys are right. Yeah, you have to go to the immigration office,
and they give you another 30 right away.
Right.
Yeah.
Ed, you know, you can't check into if you try and check into the Hotel California, you're checked bag hotel.
Yeah, the Hotel California. You can check in anytime you like, but you can never leave.
Yep.
But that's all right. I'll just check in with the witchy woman.
Yeah, sleep tight and don't let the bed bugs bite, but they will.
Yep.
They will at the Hotel California.
Witchy woman will take care of me. I love the Eagles when I'm here.
I'll be right back.
All right.
Yeah, at least you'll get free medical care, right, Larry?
That's right.
And subsidized housing.
Now, Crystal, go ahead and drop the LLL. I haven't seen you do it yet. Drop the L's and get your channel out there. Love your channel. And if you want, come on up. I know you may get a nosebleed from talking, so much English with us, but if you're willing to come up, we're more than glad to have you. Same thing goes with Mackie TV or anybody else that's here. I don't care if you're in the Philippines or the States. We just like to talk. And now I can't stay on a whole lot longer, maybe an hour. Then I'm going to have to call it quits because I have to get up. Well, I'm supposed to get up in a little over 6 hours.
Yeah, you can never leave the Hotel California. Always they have the long arm of the tax collector.
I left California, but I did it back in the 70s. And of course, I was in the Navy, so they couldn't keep me.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that was a. I don't know if you planned that or not, Larry, but that was a solid plan right there.
I'll tell you the truth. I really thought about going back after I got out, going home and visiting the family, and then going back to California.
Oh, hell no. Say it ain't so.
Oh, no. I did. Like I said, you got to remember now, this was in, 78, but it was in the 70s. And I was out in Washington State at the time that I got out. I was up around Seattle. I was in a place called Bremerton. Actually, no, I wasn't in Bremerton. I was in Bremerton earlier. I was in a place called Pacific Beach, Washington. It was a small town of about 500 people. And but I went home, and my dad wasn't real well, and so I ended up staying that winter. And then the next year, my dad came back, had surgery, and then the next year he had to be in the hospital again. And then he passed away, and I ended up never going back to California. But I originally was thinking about going back to California and trying to find it.
Oh my goodness. Well, listen, if you could afford San Diego, you'd be in California.
Well, at that time, I probably could afford, because like I said, you got to remember, this was in 78. Yeah, things were high, but they weren't as bad as what they've gotten to.
Yeah, that's true. They were high. You could at least live in Chula Vista or someplace.
Chula Vista or Mission. I'm trying to think of the other area. There was a National City. We called it Nasty City. I couldn't afford La Jolla. Let's be honest about it.
My goodness gracious.
La Jolla or Coronado, no, that was way out of my. But I could have lived outside. There was some small communities outside of San Diego that were real close. That back then I could afford to live there. I could afford to buy a house back then. All right, on the sailor's pay. I had some friends that did that. But, after a few years, like I said, I drank enough when I was in the Navy in San Diego that I could have paid for a house in San Diego. Now, it would have took all the money I spent on the booze, but I could have done it.
Yeah, I think those 70s, they were were the last years that I could recall where you had that possibility of being able to afford a house down there.
Yeah.
Things changed quickly after that. Things changed quickly.
Well, like I said, that one friend of mine, her daughter, who I told you I was playing pool with when she turned 21. Her and her husband bought a house. A few years later, they sold it for a good profit and bought a nicer house. But it was still something I probably could have afforded, if I had a decent job. On my Navy pay, I could have put a down payment on it. I just had to get a halfway decent job to continue paying for it after I got
Of course,
out.
you could afford it to live there now. All you got to do is haul in your own trailer.
No, what I'd have to do is live on the beach.
Well, you can live on the beach. They got places that you could park that trailer along the beach. They're not allowed to move you.
Oh,
You're
yeah?
protected. You're protected by federal law now.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, you could actually live in your car. They can't. They can't do anything to stop you or move you so long as you got it registered and insured and it's all in order.
But I'm just wondering, how about Hawaii? Can you do that in Hawaii?
Yeah.
Because Hawaii would be, even better weather all year round. Now, my older brother was stationed in Hawaii back in the 70s.
That must have been nice.
Yeah. He pulled brother duty with me because I had the better ship. He had the better duty station. Because let's be honest about it, Pearl Harbor compared to San Diego, Pearl Harbor was a whole lot nicer as far as weather, people, because you had all those gorgeous girls there on vacation, the beaches, all that good, happy stuff. But San Diego was not a bad alternative. And his ship went out to sea a lot. They go out for a couple weeks, come back in for a couple of weeks, and go back out. My ship was come in from a Westpac, sit there for about a year and a half, then go on another Westpac. Or we might go out for a weekend because you got a new captain. Or they did some work on the engines. We got to make sure those screws turn properly. And Mac Daddy, Crystal Adventure, our Ann is saying hi, Merry Christmas to you.
Ah, thank you. Merry Christmas. I can't see that come up on my phone. Hey, you know what those white sand beaches are made from in Hawaii?
No.
They're coral sands. They're actually fish poop.
That's all right.
The parrotfish swim
That's
around.
right. I ain't eating it. Mac Daddy, I ain't eating it. I'm just sunbathing on it.
I know, but the parrotfish swim around, bite the algae on the coral. Sounds like you're smacking two cinder blocks together underwater. And because they got that beak on the front of them. Then they ingest the algae, and there so later, out it comes, and it gets washed up on the beach. No more algae on it because they digested the algae, and you have coral sand.
Okay.
Think of how many fish have to have dinner to get coral sand.
Yeah.
Over eons.
Oh, yeah. But that place has been there for, damn near ever.
Another fact about coral sand is it doesn't get hot when you walk on it.
Well, like I said, now I've been to Hawaii a couple times, and the first time was there a couple of days. I did go out drinking and stuff. Now the second time I was on my way back to San Diego, I had duty, and we were only there the one day, so I didn't get off the ship. So I doubt, but I had been there a couple times. Welcome back, Leonard.
Well, thank you. Hey, Ed.
Hi, Leonard. How you doing?
I'm doing.
I had to catch a nap, Larry.
Well, I'm only going to be on to about midnight my time. I have to get up a little after 5 o'clock.
God bless you.
I got to work 7 to 7 tomorrow.
Well, you got to get some sleep.
Yeah. But I usually don't go to bed till 11 or later anyway. It's just the way I've always been.
Yeah.
So, I got to really to go to bed earlier than 11. I got to really be dead tired.
I always buy sleep. I sleep for a while, get up for a while, and then go back to sleep for a while.
Well, if I was retired, believe me, that's what I would do. I love taking a nap, but I don't do it because then it ruins my sleep at night. And especially if I got to work the next day, then it makes it tough the next day at work. Like today, like I said, I was the only person in the building. All right, in my part of the building, the whole 12 hours. Outside the guy I relieved and the guy that relieved me, nobody else.
That would make it tough. That would make it tough.
It was tougher than normal, yes.
Have a pot of coffee.
I got up and walked around inside the building some, close to my door that I have to watch. And towards the afternoon, I went and got myself a Mountain Dew because I wanted the caffeine. I drank about 16 ounces of coffee in the morning.
You should have a Kickstart by Mountain Dew.
Well,
The
they
Kickstart
don't.
is like fruit flavored and real fruit juice. They're very good.
Well, they don't have that at the machine.
Bummer.
But they do have the Diet Mountain Dew.
It's even less calories than a regular soda. That's another thing I like about it.
My sodas I drink either has no carbohydrates, I has very little. Like I said, I am pre-diabetic or actually I'm diabetic, but I'm not to where I have to take the insulin. And I'm trying to keep it that way. And if I'm not careful, I'll be on insulin. So I'm really trying to watch it. And so I always get the diet, or like I said, Coke Zero has no carbohydrates at all. I get the Diet Mountain Dew. I still get the caffeine, which is what I want. That's why when I want caffeine and I don't have the coffee available, it's Mountain Dew because it's the strongest caffeine drink I saw. Like I said, the energy drinks.
Yeah.
And where I'm at, I don't see any energy drinks in there. Guys go out and buy it and bring it back for themselves. Well, but like I said yesterday, there was nobody there. And tomorrow there's not going to be anybody there till late in the afternoon.
Yeah, you'd have to bring it in with you.
Yeah, and tomorrow, the only place I know that's going to be open didn't open until I start work. They'll be open after I get off.
Yeah.
There's a gas station. They said tomorrow they're open 7 to 9. Well, I start at 7. I get off at 7. So they'll be open after I get off.
But that won't do you much good for
before
during the
going
day.
in. Yeah, going in. And so I'll take in a cup, a thermos. I got a 17-ounce thermos I take in. Usually I have about 16 ounces or so in it for coffee. Then I take in a ginger, lemon, and green tea mixture. And I take in about 16 ounces of that. And then I take in green tea. Usually that's enough, but like I said, I was just getting so tired, I didn't even finish the green tea. I went and got the Mountain Dew, the Diet Mountain Dew, and drank that instead. And I've done that before, but it depends on how tired I am. Because if I'm not tired, I'll just drink the tea. Because there is caffeine in it, but it's not near as much as the Mountain Dew, you know.
No.
And so I want that stronger punch when I start getting tired, because it'll help wake you up. And usually Mountain Dew's enough to wake me up. I don't really need much stronger than that.
Well, you know, Mountain Dew used to be the study drink for all the college kids studying for exams.
Well, one of my best friends from one of my best friends back in my Navy days, and now he did a career. He did 20 years. Now the rest of us, our friend group, we were all coffee drinkers and cigarettes in the morning. Now my buddy, Mountain Dew and a cigarette. He did not drink coffee, but he had to have his Mountain Dew every morning and his cigarette. Now, like I said, he did 20 years, and in some ways, I'm jealous of the guy, and the other way, I feel sorry for the guy because I'm jealous that he did the 20 years. I think I should have done 20, but and that's a slight jealous. I mean, it's like I wish I'd done 20, but I wasn't smart enough to do it.
Patriot.
And the part I feel sorry for him about was he never made it above E4. And the reason why was we were both the ship servicemen, and it was closed. There you go. Almost the trifold hat, the old Patriots hat.
Yep.
But anyway, the rate was closed up, so he would P&A the test for E5. P&A means pass but not advance. And as long as you pass the test, you can stay in. But nobody ever moved out of or not enough people ever moved out of E5 so he could move up. And it's kind of like a catch-22 because you can't go to a different rate until you make E5. And he couldn't make E5 to change rates. He was willing to change, but too bit. That's that water you're talking about, right, Dan?
Yeah.
Okay. He was talking about the water on his live stream yesterday.
Okay.
But so he could never change jobs. He was stuck as a ship serviceman until after he retired. Now later on, the storekeepers, which was a related field to the ship serviceman, was always shorthanded. They were always needing people, and they didn't do it soon enough to help him out. What they did later on was they rolled the ship servicemen into the storekeeper and just made one unit, which was storekeepers. They just made everybody a storekeeper. But that was after he retired. And now, see, if I'd have stayed in, I was going up for E5 and it wasn't closed up yet. And I probably would have made E5, and then I might have been stuck at E5 unless I changed job codes, which I could have done as an E5. But I got out instead, and I'm glad I did because, like I said, my father died less than 2 years after I got out. I got to spend that time at home. So
Yeah.
that's another reason why I'm not sorry that I didn't move back to California. And but yeah, and so like I said, they stayed home. I got out in October, and they usually leave about before I got home. They would leave for Texas. They go down to Texas, down around Brownsville or Mission, and spend the winter down there. And so they would, I came home and they left a couple weeks after I got home. They went down and then they came back, and then my dad went in the hospital, had to have surgery. And he was all right for a while. Then they went down to Texas again the next winter, came back, ended up having to go back in the hospital, and then he passed away. And so he turned 60 and 61 both in the hospital, and he died at 61. But so, like I said, I'm glad I got out. I'm glad I got to spend that time with him. It wasn't as much as if they hadn't gone down to Texas, but I got to spend the summer with him and the falls with him. And so I'm glad for that. All right, Tim, we're glad to have you. If you have to go before we shut down, we're glad you're here. Tim says he can stay about 20 more minutes and he's going to have to go.
Yep.
And but we're getting close to the time where I'm going to have to shut it down anyway myself, Tim, because it's not that if I was still on my old schedule, we'd go as long as anybody wanted to talk. Y'all know me.
Yeah.
I went 6 hours one time. I couldn't believe I went that long, but I did it.
Oh, the anti-JLB is here.
Yeah, the dumpster fire is back. How you doing, dumpster fire?
Where's
Welcome back,
Mark?
sir. Mark, I haven't seen Mark. You talking about Marky TV? I haven't seen him for a while. But yeah, it's like I said. If I'd have been smart, I'd have listened to my sister and done what Dad did. Been a social worker, you know.
Yep.
My youngest sister tried to get me to go to work for the welfare department, and I decided I didn't want to do it because they didn't pay that well back then. But the benefits and the retirement, and I was in my 30s. I thought, I'll find something. Yeah, foolish Larry, dumb Larry. But that's all right. I mean, you look back and I'm doing great, dumpster fire. And,
There's still time for you to go get that gig, Larry.
no thanks, Dan. I don't think I want to work that long to get a retirement from them. I'm getting too old for that.
It'll keep you young.
No, it'd kill me. Dan will tell you that. They'd drive me
Probably
nuts.
get away with just having to do 10 years.
Dan, that would put me at 80. You think I could make it to the Philippines at that age?
There's guys over there.
Yeah.
Who's excited to see you? That's me, Dan.
Like I said. Oh, you're on your phone there, dumpster fire. Yeah, it was Dan that was happy to see you back. I'm glad to see you back, but Dan's the one that was actually the one that, that showed the most excitement.
Yep.
But Dan, he just said hi to you.
Hello.
But like I said, for you guys, it's already Christmas. For us, it's getting there.
I was waiting for Mark Repeats the Story to show up.
He's not showed up. He's not.
I want to talk to him about that opportunity that he's got.
Oh, the cruise ship?
Yeah, the cruise ship investment opportunity.
Yeah, not me, boss. I got other things to waste my money on.
Yeah, invest. It's one fast way to lose your money, huh?
Well, I'm trying to remember who said that. It might have been one of the guys here in the chat. But one of the guys that somewhere said the fastest way to become a millionaire in the Philippines, start with 2 million. Yeah. Dan JLB says dumpster fire says JLB hasn't had a stream for 2 weeks.
2 weeks. That's 2 weeks too long.
But I'm going to tell you the truth. Choose between JLB and Chris and Cebu. I'll take Chris and Cebu every time.
Chris folded it up, though. He don't like us anymore.
I think Dan's right. He probably found a 9-to-5 job or a job where he's working. So, because he came on, I'm going to tell you the truth. As much as he came on, a lot of times I think he came on because he was bored. You know?
Well, of course, but he should have told us or something. He just tossed us out, and that was it.
Yeah, he should have had one last live stream. Hey guys, I'm getting ready to end. But you got to remember now, his daughter has gone to college. Going to college now. She finished high school, so she's at the age where he's going to have to start letting her do things more on her own than he was before. Because he used to take her to school every day. When they first moved over there, he took her to school every day, went over there and picked her up and brought her back home.
I got to take my son to school every day.
Yeah, but she's in college now.
Well, my son will be in college in 2 years if he's lucky, but
Like I said, once they get to college, you're not going to be taking them every day.
Well, who knows?
Yeah, but I'm just saying. And Dan, you got your wish. He's here.
Dan, can you join the Founders Club of
Conquest
Cruises for a mere $150? Email me. That's cheap.
I bet it is.
That's cheap.
They got a good name for that.
That was
Why wouldn't I want to be a member?
Now, Leonard, that thing about taking 2 million to become a 1 millionaire.
Yeah,
Tim's the one that said that. I knew I saw or said that, heard that somewhere.
yeah, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. Tim's got some good ones.
Yeah, but Bud Brown just came up with a. I just got a notice on my phone that Bud Brown, I think, has a new video up.
He's got a Christmas video
Yeah.
that he put up.
Yeah, they just put up a Christmas video.
I,
Like I said,
got that notice too.
I like Bud Brown, but when he goes back, I'm sorry, he goes back to Mexico. I'm not going to be interested. I might keep him up just to see if he goes back to the Philippines. Because who was it that said that? Was that you, Leonard? Said he was going to go to Mexico and see how he likes it. And if he doesn't like it, go back to the Philippines.
That was mentioned. I think he said, yeah.
Okay, I thought that was you that mentioned it.
Yeah,
He-
no, I said I did mention it, but I heard
No,
him
no,
say it.
that's what I'm saying. I
Yeah,
thought you said that he said that.
He should save himself the time the Philippines win.
Well, they're leaving here shortly after the first of the year, from my understanding.
As I understand it, it's March, but
This is shortly after the first of the year. March is shortly after.
I wish him the best and all. You know, I like Bud Brown, but
Like I said, I'm not interested in Mexico.
exactly.
Now, Mexico might be a good place. Mexico might be a good place to go visit for a vacation, close by. But I don't need to see videos on a place that I might want to go visit for just a vacation.
Well, they're all leaving Mexico. They're all jumping the fence.
yep.
Hey,
Gotta be-
Maurice!
Wonder why that's happening, Mac Daddy.
Well,
Hold on. Dan, your favorite bachelorette is here. Larice is here. And she says, "Sir Dan."
Larice, the Philippines' most eligible bachelorette and socialite.
And she says, "Sir Dan, Merry Christmas."
Merry Christmas.
And she tells me, "Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas."
Merry Christmas, Larice.
And Tim agrees with you, Leonard. Bud Brown said he's going to Mexico in March. And
Yeah,
like I
that's the
said-
last I heard, but shoot, that everything's subject to change.
Oh yeah, I agree with you. But well, like you were planning on going in February, and it's changed.
Yep.
That's why I said, and whose channel was it? Somebody was talking about long distance relationship. Was that you, Dan? No, I think it might have been Mike was talking about something like that. He was talking about how he thinks you should meet the person first. I'm talking about Mike for retirement in Philippines or whatever.
Yeah.
And I wrote on his thing, and I've said this before, I'm not going to date and consider myself dating or committed to someone that I have not met.
Right.
And so I'm not even going to, unless I know I'm going to meet him within a month or so, then, let's say I know I'm going to go, but March, we've got March coming up. I would be willing to talk to somebody now. Not make a commitment, but talk to somebody or a couple people.
I got
Then go and meet them. And then let's say I'm not living there yet, but I'm going there. But I know I'm going to go and live there in a year or two after that. I'd be willing to do something like that, maybe.
I got somebody I chat with all the time in the Philippines. You know what the problem is? She just was chatting with me a minute ago. She's jealous that I'm online talking to people. And I told her,
Come online. She can come up.
she's
See what's going on.
Yeah.
she's the nicest girl in the world, but
Yeah.
No, come on,
Like I said,
give me a break. I can do what I want to do.
but
If
like I said,
what I want to do, then that's problem number one.
but like I said, I would never want to make a commitment or even think about trying to start something unless I know for sure. Unless I know for sure I'm going to go to that country, and whether I'm going to go there and live or go there and bring her back here, it wouldn't matter. I got to have a end date in mind.
Well, I'd like to put her back here, but
I'm just
That's
saying
a
that.
slow, expensive process.
Yeah, but I'm just saying though, there's people that go over and bring them back.
2 kids.
Yeah, but
I got a boat a lot more money to do that.
Yeah,
Well,
and you have
not a
to.
huge number.
One thing you might not have thought of is you have to have X number of dollars coming in yearly so you can afford to have them, so you can afford to sponsor them.
Oh,
But
sure. I gotta have
he,
I gotta be able to show close to $40,000 a year to bring them
yeah,
here.
he's already
Yeah,
looked into that. But what I'm saying is though, it doesn't matter which way it's going. For me,
right,
it would be me moving there. But I'm
right.
just saying though, if I was still younger, still let's say in my 50s or 40s, and I wanted to get a Filipino wife, and I was having trouble meeting them here in the States, I would not, especially in today's world with the women we have here in the States now, so many of them now. Now, not all of them, but there are a lot of them.
No, no, you don't even want to talk to them.
They don't want to talk to you unless you're rich or handsome.
Yep.
I don't have that problem.
Guys, you know what weird thing? I just Googled the top 15 cheapest English
Bye,
speaking
everyone.
countries to live in. And you'd be surprised, right? You'd be surprised what come up.
Oh,
I've
come on.
looked at
number-
the list a couple times.
On this list is United Kingdom investment for foreigners, Grenada for living expenses, Africa for living expenses, and Antigua and Barbuda living expenses, Belize for cost of living, the Philippines for living costs, India for living costs, and Guyana for cost of living.
I'm going to
So
tell
anyway,
you.
that gives you the. I didn't see Mexico on there.
To give you, they're not an English-speaking country, but
Yeah, it's not considered to be an English-speaking country.
but Belize,
Belize.
Grenada, the Philippines.
Grenada's not as stable.
Grenada's not. That's Grenada.
I think
you're
it
talking
is
about-
now.
You're talking about the one down in the Caribbean, right? Isn't that where Grenada is? The Caribbean?
Yes.
I would take Grenada.
South of the
Belize.
Gulf of Mexico. It's not in the Caribbean.
Right.
Well, you know what I'm saying. It's down that way where the weather's nice. I would. It would not be my first or second choice, but
No.
it would be a choice.
Belize got the Brits, so Belize is very nice.
And
They got what?
The British. They're
Yeah.
formerly British Honduras. So they're
Well, yeah, they use the
British
American
Navy-
dollar.
Yeah, they use
Right.
That's another plus for the Belize. You don't have to worry about the
Except-
conversion rate.
Except their prices are a lot higher than all the rest of those countries.
Yeah, but you know what the money is because it's our money. It's
Yeah.
cheaper than a lot of those places. I mean, a lot of places other places we can live, and it is English speaking. And I'm going to be honest with you, that's a big plus for me.
Yeah, it is for me also.
You know, and
I used to
and
know
like I said,
somebody lived in Belize. They had a bar and hot dog stand on the beach.
well,
Yeah.
well, another thing that I like about the Philippines, I've been there. I've known Filipino people. I've worked, like I said, in the Navy. I served alongside. One of my divisions was almost 1/3 Filipino, 1/3 white, and 1/3 black. We were not quite 1/3 everything, but real close to it.
Yeah.
You did have some Hispanic people in there, and we even had one time we had a couple guys that were American Chinese, but they were Chinese. They were twin brothers. One was a chef serviceman, and the other one was a storekeeper. And so, like I said, my really first exposure to different cultures was the Navy. I was exposed to some blacks as a kid, but most of the neighborhoods I lived in was all white. It was at school that I was associated with the blacks, but they didn't live my neighborhood, so I didn't know them that well.
Right.
And there were very few other races at the school I was at. I think there was a couple that were. I don't know what they were. I mean, because like I said, they had a darker skin than me, but they weren't black.
Hey, you seen Ed down here? He's saying he lived in Belize near where John McAfee lived. And I just have a question for you about that. Do you think that he was murdered or actually commit suicide?
Bye, Tim. Tim says he's leaving, so he said take care, everyone.
Everybody's bailing on us. Larry, what are we going to do?
Well, we're going to keep going for a few more minutes. But he said he had to go, so.
Yeah, he's been trying to leave for about 20 minutes.
Ed says he wasn't a nice guy. John McAfee. I thought he was odd. I thought he was an odd duck.
Now, is that the one that had McAfee, the internet security?
That was a guy that I think I only heard part of what you said there, Larry. But he was the virus guy.
That's what I was thinking.
Virus team.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
He was accused of murdering somebody down there in Belize, and then he fled the country, and then he ended up, I don't know where he actually died in, what prison. If it were a U.S. prison.
Probably like a Jeffrey Epstein thing. Oops.
Yeah.
Yeah, could be.
Dad says he died of a brain hemorrhage.
Yeah, imagine
Someone hit him in the head with a brick.
somebody was punching a phone book.
Yeah.
At least it wasn't like Jeffrey Dahmer. I don't know if you know how he died.
Yeah, they beat him to death.
What a way to go.
I heard somebody said that he was physically assaulted in a sexual manner with a broomstick.
Ooh, ouch. That's got to hurt.
No, definitely.
Got to be very uncomfortable. Way to go.
That's what somebody was saying on YouTube or somewhere. I can't remember where I heard that at. But they were talking about that. It's like, man, no, thank you. But
Yeah.
he was a sick SOB anyway.
Yes.
Yeah. Remember the joke when the Waco fire? They said Dahmer escaped and they found him in Waco with a jar of barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
So he was a sick SOB, man.
They had a guy years ago in Trenton State Prison that murdered a local young girl, and for no reason, just picked her up, had his way, and murdered her.
Oh,
And they put him in a cell with a guy who was like in for multiple murders and never getting out. And
he took
one
care
of
of
them
the
didn't
guy.
walk out of that cell.
Yeah, I wonder which one. Hey, one thing in the prison, one of the lowest things you can be is a child molester.
Yep.
And they say the reason for that is a lot of those guys have kids.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so if you're a child molester, they think about their own kids. So that's one of the lowest things you can be in a prison.
Yep.
From what I hear.
That's the way I understand it too.
I mean, you can be in there for even Dahmer would have had more respect, I think, than a child molester.
I would
could
think
be
so.
wrong.
And not by much.
No, not that much. Well, from my hometown, there was two famous Larrys that lived in my hometown. Larry Bird and Larry Eiler. Now, Larry Bird was not from my hometown, but he lived there going to college, Indiana State University. Now, Larry Eiler was famous because he was a murderer. And
Nobody's perfect.
I actually
His wife.
I actually went to school with a kid, but I hadn't seen him in years. We were in high school together. And this was years later. I was out of the but I guess him and this college professor were a couple of homosexual lovers, which, hey, that's fine. But they would go out and pick up another homosexual and torture and murder the person.
That wasn't fine.
No, that was not fine. One of the first cases they found was in Chicago. It was a young black kid. And they found him in a dumpster not far from where he lived. That's where they dumped his body. and they killed a few others on I want to say on Route 65, in between Chicago and Terre Haute. And it took them a while, but they finally caught him, and he ended up dying in prison, I think, of AIDS. But they had a trial to try to convict the college professor, and they weren't able to convict the college professor. And Larry Eiler testified against the guy, but I guess the others didn't want to believe him or whatever. Now, I had that college professor in college. So, talk about strange. And they both, if I remember right, the college professor's name was Larry as well. His name, he was trying to remember his last name. But he taught library science. And then, like I said, I don't.
They finally solved the hijacker guy from California case.
They arrested. Have you guys heard about the Delphi, Indiana case?
No, I haven't heard about that.
The two young girls that were killed a few years back. There were two girls together, and I can't remember if they were raped or not, but they were killed, and along the tracks and stuff. And it took them years to catch the guy.
Oh, yeah, I seen they got that guy, yeah.
He lived in the same area. They finally caught him. Finally was able to get the evidence to prove it. Well, it took them years.
You're not talking about D.B. Cooper, are you, Mac Daddy?
Yeah, D.B. Cooper, they figured him out.
No,
Who was he?
He's the
tell you
one
how
that
they got
hijacked the plane and jumped out with the.
Yeah, that's different. D.B. Cooper is different.
They figured out who did that. They figured out that this is real crazy. They figured out that there was micro metal dust on the tie he was wearing. And it was a pull-off tie. It was not like one of them ones that go around your neck. It was a clip-on. They traced it back to a place in Pittsburgh here. It's the only place that manufactured that alloy of aluminum. And their engineers had to wear ties like that. So they can't, he's dead, and they don't have him, but it's the only place you could get this alloy metal, and they know who it is.
Now, talking about D.B. Cooper, there was a TV show called Leverage. I don't know if any of you guys ever watched it.
I love that show.
So did I. Did you see the episode where they went after D.B. Cooper? And in the show, it turned out it was a FBI agent. He joined the FBI afterwards. Okay.
Yeah, well, that's
I don't think I saw that.
Yeah, like I said, it's not true. Leverage is not based on true stories. They got
this guy was a military.
This guy was military.
Army Ranger during the Vietnam War.
This guy was military.
He would have the skill set to be able to get down that stairwell and jump.
Yeah, but a friend of his, some guy he knew, got killed, and he stole the money to help that family out, not for himself. And according to, like I said, Leverage, the witness, the stewardess, lied about what the guy looked like.
J.C. Penney tie he was wearing.
Yeah, they traced it back. The tie could have only came from like one kind of store. They only made them for like 3 years or something.
Yeah, I'm reading in the FBI 2016 reported saying during the hijacking, Cooper was wearing this black J.C. Penney tie, which he removed before jumping. It later provided us with DNA sample.
Yeah, it had the DNA sample. It had these micro, like metal dust particles on it.
That makes sense.
That's probably led them to where they can get the. Because you got to remember now, back then, DNA.
They didn't have all this.
Well, the military didn't have the DNA like they do today. They had your fingerprints. but they didn't take DNA samples.
Yeah, they didn't have all the DNA. They didn't have the tie was only manufactured for like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
They real and who's the big company in this end of Pennsylvania? Because I'm in Western Pennsylvania, just 2 hours away from Pittsburgh. J.C. Penney's huge out here, still is.
They're going bankrupt.
Oh, they've been going bankrupt for years. They're still open every day in the mall.
Well, I just saw recently they're closing.
Who's the guy's name? Mac Daddy. Who's the guy's name that they?
I don't know. You have to look them up online.
Was this because the number one suspect was a guy named Richard Floyd McCoy.
And I think
I've heard that name before.
But they traced them back through this metal company in Pittsburgh because of
Very interesting. Hey, let me ask a question. Since you're in Pennsylvania, last time I was in Pittsburgh many years ago, that city was about as clean a city as I'd ever seen. Is it still that way, or they were trying to?
It's still really clean. It's economically depressed. It's got more bridges than any city because of all the mountains and the 3 rivers and everything.
Right.
When I was there, it was nice. And I went to a store called Restaurant Depot. It's like Home Depot for your restaurant. They get all the food and all the supplies. And it's in the restaurant bar area end of Pittsburgh. And they were redoing like all the streets, all these Art Deco type buildings and storefronts that were restaurants and bars.
I remember that.
They were really doing something nice. And there's a lot of that 100-year-old stuff here where I live, even in Johnstown, that they're kind of renovating also. We'll never come back, though, in this area. We're too obscure. We're too, like, off to the side.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Crystal, what are we having, Ann? What are we having for lunch?
I love Pennsylvania, though. Pennsylvania's
Ann says
special.
Let me ask you a question, Mac Daddy.
Sure.
I went up the Monongahela Incline when I was there.
In Johnstown.
Is that where that is?
There's
the Monongahela Incline where you have a train that takes you up the incline?
Yes.
Yeah, that's where I was.
Downtown Johnstown.
That's where I was.
That's about 4 miles from where I live.
Wow. I like that area. I got to tell you, went through there. I liked it.
I often pass that when I get downtown. And I haven't went down and rode it yet. They just restored it. And yes, you can still ride it.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
And, they're doing a lot of neat little things in Johnstown for the tourist end of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Johnstown was a big coal and steel area, one of the originals. Andrew Carnegie, the Johnstown flood, when Andrew Carnegie and his sportsman friends redid this dam so they could ride their carriages across it to get to their club, and it caused the Johnstown flood. Johnstown flooded a couple times. They call us Flood City.
Now, just to remind you guys, if you haven't given me a thumbs up, please give me a thumbs up.
Always.
Mine's showing. I don't have too many. It's showing.
What I remember is there was a big push back then in the 70s and the 80s to clean up all the crap left behind by the coal and steel mill manufacturing. They were trying to convert the thing over to a convention town, a place to attract. Yeah.
I don't mean to interrupt you. They did some of that.
Yeah.
The big steel plants that were downtown, they ripped half of them down. And one of the major manufacturers now in Johnstown manufactures something that every sewer holding municipality in this country needs. They manufacture these big suction bags that are like.
Reese, welcome back. If you went somewhere, or hi, thanks for speaking up.
And another thing that we're doing here in the Johnstown area that is kind of under everybody's hat, nobody talks about.
What's that?
All that shoulder-fired missile stuff that they're using in the Ukraine.
Right.
we manufacture here.
Dang.
Johnstown Welding and Fabrication, JWF Industries, makes all that kind of stuff. You have Lockheed Martin up the road that assembles it, palletizes it, and gets it ready to go on like the aircraft to drop it over in the Ukraine. We are a heavy manufacturer of military hardware of all kinds. So that's kind of interesting because we have a lot of welders, fabricators, tool and die people here, and a lot of very skilled craftsmen. So Johnstown's got a lot of little niches. And I kind of wound up here by accident. I was living in Delaware. It was getting ready to flood. The neighborhood I lived in was terrible. I couldn't afford to live there. And I knew climate change was coming. So I pulled up, well, where's climate change in this country going to be better? And it's in the mountains. And I couldn't afford to go to the Ozarks, but I could afford to go to Western Pennsylvania.
We lost Dan again.
I know, we lost you, Dan. So that's how I wound up in Johnstown area. But I'll let this is Larry's stream. I'll let him have the floor back.
But no, that's all right. Just like I said, it's getting close to time for me to end it. It's almost midnight, and I do have to get up here a little after 5. Get my alarm set. That's good. Well, folks, I hate to say it, but I'm going to have to end it. If any of you haven't give me a thumbs up, please do. And no, Dad, I don't know what happened to you, buddy. I didn't do anything. But I'm going to go ahead and end it. And I will be back again next Saturday. Of course, it'll be New Year's Eve then, but we'll come back on the same time. I'll put the notice up later.
I'll be
you all come back.
Campaign.
Well, that's all right. But I won't. Well, like I said, I'm going to work 12 hours that day, and I got to work 12 hours New Year's Day. So there's no sense me doing any drinking.
Nope.
But like I said, everybody, I want to wish you all, well, a Merry Christmas. And if I don't see you next weekend, a very Happy New Year.
Don't forget Hanukkah. Hanukkah's over Monday.
All right. And for all our Jewish friends, Hanukkah. And for everybody else, whatever, what is it? The Festivus for the rest of us? Or whatever holiday you celebrate. Happy holidays. And remember, be kind to each other. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe and healthy. And as always, try to have fun. All right, guys. I'm going to close it down. Have a good night.
All right, Larry. Good night.
All right. Goodbye.
See you guys.
Yep.
Yep.